Stream. I hope everybody's having a good evening so far. We are starting off immediately with a tornado warning that has just been issued currently over in central eastern Texas. This is near Florence, and it's just right now south of Temple, so south of Waco, near Georgetown, north of Round Rock. We have a brand new tornado warning that was just issued. This storm has pretty strong rotation just east of Florence. It's going to be moving towards areas like Granger as well as Bartlett here over the next several minutes. Make sure you're seeking shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible if you're included in this tornado warning. Again, this just got issued by the National Weather Service for an ongoing tornado warning. Let's go over to the velocities immediately because there are actually some pretty strong rotations here on the radar, and there's very strong rotation currently moving east, and there might even be a tornado on the ground as we're going live. Very strong rotation currently moving off to the east. This is a very quickly developing cell. Again, if you're just east of Interstate 35, near Bartlett, near Highway 95, make sure you're seeking shelter immediately. Again, away from windows and lowest floor possible. That is some fairly strong rotation. Correlation coefficient for right now is not picking up on anything, but that does not mean there's not a tornado on the ground. This is a very well-defined storm, very classic sort of cell, what we have in terms of lines of storms. So again, there may be a tornado on the ground at any time with this cell. This is very strong rotation. Let's go back over to the velocities. Again, very tight rotation right now, moving off to the east, going towards areas like Bartlett and as well as 95. Again, strong rotation. If you've not already, seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. Let's zoom out just a little bit so you get an idea of where we're at currently. Again, this is south of Temple. This is a very dangerous supercell right now embedded in this line. We have severe thunderstorm warnings up and down this area as well. But again, this is south of Waco, north of Round Rock, and north of Austin, Texas. It is currently moving off to the east at about 60 miles per hour. So it's a very quick moving cell. Again, there may be a tornado on the ground currently with this cell. Very strong rotation. It almost looks like it almost 100% is on the ground, but obviously seek shelter if you are anywhere, again, near Interstate 35, going off to the east towards Bartlett. Very tight rotation. I've not seen this tight of rotation in, I would say, months at this point. I mean, this is something that you don't see too often, but that's very tight right now. Again, moving off to the east, currently going, again, towards Bartlett. Let me put a little timing guide on this storm for those that might be out in front of it. Again, this is an entire line of storms that we're watching very closely for, with the potential for all modes of severe weather over the next several hours. As this moves off to the east, we do have an ongoing tornado watch to obviously enforce the threat of severe weather today. I'm going to put on the entire line of storms so you get an idea of where you might be impacted when. So all the timing is going to be on the left side of your screen if you want to take a look. Since we are under a tornado warning, I will not be listing off every name, but areas like Waco are already going to be hit within the next few minutes. Temple's about to be hit. Belmed as well, right around 9:05. Robinson, 9:05. Round Rock, 9:06. It is again going to be a fairly busy evening with all these areas in track. College Station's a big area, will be impacted sometime, most likely around 10:30 tonight. So again, if you are in this tornado warning, seek shelter. If you know anybody in this warning, make sure you're messaging them. Get this word out. If you do not know anybody in this area, make sure you at least hit the like button. It gets us out to more people that might be impacted by this ongoing tornado warning. Because again, this is a very dangerous cell. Fairly strong rotation as of now. We get our next radar update here in a moment, so we'll be paying attention to that very closely. Very, very tight inflow as well. If we go ahead and kind of show you this, there's definitely a pretty strong inflow here. That is your hook. A tornado at this point would likely be located here somewhere near Interstate 35. Again, this is not the latest scan, but this was a couple of minutes ago. It is likely going to be closer to Bartlett now. So if you're in Bartlett, this is your last chance. Make sure you're seeking shelter now, away from windows and lowest floor possible, as this storm quickly moves off to the east. This is not a slow moving cell. We're talking at least 45-mile-per-hour storms right now moving off to the east, and they are very quick moving. So Bartlett will be impacted most likely within the next few minutes as this quickly races off to the east. While we wait for the next radar update, we have a couple of other storms to mention. Back up near Temple and Troy along Interstate 35, severe thunderstorm warning does on go for ping pong ball sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. There's been reports of up to golf ball sized hail with this storm. Winds have peaked around 60 miles per hour, at least by a trained weather spotter. Back over here near Florence, we still have an ongoing severe thunderstorm warning, but the biggest concern for right now is this ongoing tornado warning. Again, if there were to be a tornado, it's likely going to be located in here, and it is quickly right now moving off to the east towards Bartlett. So again, very dangerous storm that we're watching here very closely for as it continues to march out to the east. Waiting to see if we have any new updates on this one, but this is again very strong storm right now. Let's go back over to here. Our next radar update comes here in just a moment. Again, this is back over to the velocities. If we match up the velocities with the correlation coefficient on this most recent scan, it does not currently show any very definitive signs of a drop. I would expect if this is an ongoing tornado, we'll see it in the next scan, which is coming in right now. So I'll have an update on that in here in just a second. But again, very strong storm, very strong rotation without a doubt right now, moving off to the east. This is, again, the velocities on the latest scan. This was at about 8:49, 8:50-ish, so about 4 minutes ago. The latest one's going to be coming in right now as this quickly moves out towards Bartlett, Texas. So watching the storm very closely. Hey, thank you, Matt, by the way, for the $5 super chat. Let's go over to here, and let me go back over to this. All right, we'll have our next update here in just a moment. All right, here's the latest update. Here's the rotation. Again, this is where we're looking at for a potential that there might be a tornado at any time with this storm as it quickly moves off to the east. This is the correlation coefficient. It is showing a bit more there, but it kind of looks like it has a lot of pixels. There may still be something here, though. We're watching this closely. There definitely may be a potential tornado at any time, or we might already have one on the ground. I'm going to go back over to my phone real quick and see if we have anything coming in on there. But this is extremely tight rotation. Let me go back over to the actual base velocities. Base velocities are kind of glitched out for right now. But we have very high velocities. If we go over to this, we can get an estimate wind speeds right now, possibly having a tornado on the ground. Again, 85 to 90 miles per hour is right now being estimated. We possibly have a tornado ongoing right now. Winds are currently upwards of almost 90 miles per hour. Currently east of I-35. Again, this is a tornado-warned cell. We could have a tornado at any time if we don't already have one ongoing. Very, very high winds. We're talking upwards of 90 miles per hour with this supercell quickly moving off to the east towards Bartlett. Again, seek shelter immediately away from windows. And again, lowest floor possible if you're in Bartlett or Granger. Those are the two areas that are going to be in the track of this over the next several minutes. Again, we are seeing extremely high winds. Near 91 miles per hour is the peak that I'm seeing right now on this cell. Let's go back over to the correlation coefficient. Again, we don't have any defined area, but there very well could be a tornado at any time as this storm quickly marches out to the east. Very dangerous storm right now. Again, this is south of Waco, Texas, north of Austin, Texas. It's kind of in between those two locations for those that might be just tuning in. Very dangerous supercell right now. Also, we're still seeing severe weather up and down this line of storms. A tornado watch is ongoing until midnight tonight. That's another 3 hours. We very well may see an isolated tornado after the fact as well. Big concern tonight, damaging winds up to 75 miles per hour. We may be seeing up to 90 right now near Interstate 35. So winds could be even higher than that. The other threat is ping pong ball sized hail. We've already seen golf ball sized hail, so obviously that is a little bit under the maximum that we've seen so far. Also, a couple of tornadoes are the concerns for tonight, and we're already seeing very strong rotation, and we may have already had a tornado with this storm right now quickly moving we're watching this very closely. Our next radar update should be coming in here pretty soon. This is the closest radar site. Very good look at it right now near Bartlett. This is the latest radar update that is now, it looks like they're speeding up the radar updates a little bit quicker. So it seems like we're starting to see maybe a little bit of the inflow being cut off a little bit, which would be good news. Would mean that there might be some weakening going on right now. Obviously, this could recycle. Let's go back over to the velocities. I'm not sure if those have updated quite yet. And yeah, you can definitely see not nearly as much rotation now. Looks like the tightening has completely gone away. We're just seeing now maybe a bit more broad rotation, currently centered just west of Bartlett. Again, quickly moving off to the east. We'll be watching this storm very closely because, again, we may see a tornado drop again, potentially a little bit later from now if it's able to recycle. This is a very dangerous area tonight in terms of the tornado threat. It's right along that outflow boundary that we're watching. There could very well be some spin-ups along this area. Really, primary area, I'd say, tonight would be basically from Georgetown back through Huntsville. There's obviously a possibility further north and even potentially further south, but I do think the best tornado potential tonight will exist right along that Highway 79 stretch, back closer to about Highway 190, back through Bryan as well as Huntsville. Seems like the best tornado potential for tonight. So we're watching that very closely again as these storms continue to march out to the east. Latest update on this tornado warning, no big updates with this. The only thing is it's been condensed a little bit. The latest update still radar indicated, no confirmation from what I know in terms of there actually being a tornado. There may have been one, not confirmed at this point. It looked to be very strong and tight on the radar though during that as well. And I'm trying to see if we have any reports coming out on Twitter. Yeah, so as of right now, no reports of a confirmed tornado. There was very strong rotation. We very well may have had a tornado, though, with this storm already. Again, it's moving off to the east right now. Bartlett is currently next in the path of this. If you're in Bartlett, again, make sure you get to your safe place right now as this continues to march out to the east towards areas like Bartlett. Granger and Holland will also be in the track of this. Just to give you perspective on what's happening across the entire region right now, I'm going to quickly go over to this radar. This is what we're looking at. We have a huge line of storms extending from North Texas back through Sherman, through Austin, and it also goes all the way back up into Springfield. It actually goes really far north. We're talking across the entire United States. Now, granted, the line of storms is where all the instability is, which is pretty much all in Texas tonight. It's not really going to be any further north than that, but that's really the big story. We just have this very strong trough back up to the north. We have a bit of a weaker trough that's developing right now down here to the south that is really bringing that severe weather potential tonight. So that's really what we're seeing across Texas tonight, is that secondary trough that is currently strengthening. That'll also bring a potential for severe weather tomorrow. So it is a very large area that we're watching tonight. It's obviously mainly going to be Texas, but there's a lot of rain even back up to the north. And again, that's all associated with that other trough that brought severe weather yesterday to the Central Plains and also brought a winter storm to areas like the northwestern United States yesterday and the day before as well. They've seen a lot of snow in the Rocky Mountains, but besides the point, that was really what we've been seeing over the last several days in terms of what we've been seeing across the United States. Latest radar update just came in. This is the latest. Again, inflow has been cut off for the time being, which would mean we probably do not have any tornadic threat right now. That could obviously change at any time. This storm very well may recycle. This is an area of rotation that we're watching, not nearly as pronounced as before. If we go back a few radar scans, I'll kind of back it up here just a little bit for those that might just be tuning in. Again, this tornado warning is ongoing for Granger and Bartlett. This is what we had not too long ago near Interstate 35. This was the very strong rotation back just west of there. We may have had a tornado on the ground. Again, no confirmation yet, but that was the area that we did have very strong rotation. Now, in the most recent scans, again, this is kind of over time. We had it weakening a little bit, still some rotation, somewhat tight there still, even just east of Interstate 35, and then it has fizzled out for the most part now. But we are watching to see if this does recycle, because this is a very prime area tonight for a tornadic threat along this line of storms. Again, that's a QLCS situation that we're seeing there. There's also a low possibility. We have an isolated discrete cell form out in front of this. Seems like a low potential tonight, but if that does end up happening, tornado threat will definitely be increased with that. We do have a damage report as of 30 minutes ago in Burnett that has just come out. Public report of 4 miles northeast of Burnett of 3-inch tree limbs broken, and as well as snapped power poles. So we are all obviously seeing some damage with this line of storms that is currently ongoing. Again, moving through central Texas, going to be going into southeast Texas here over the next couple of hours. Hail threat is definitely up there as well. We've already seen upwards of golf ball sized hail back just west of Temple, and as well as wind gusts have been as high as 60 miles per hour. So it's been obviously a very active evening to say the least so far. Just the latest update, by the way, tornado warning is still ongoing here for at least it goes for another 30 minutes. I would expect it gets probably expired or cancels in the next 15 minutes or so, since this will be moving out of the pink box at some point within that time frame. But the update is it basically just condensed again. No longer includes, it looks like, areas west of Interstate 35. No, it actually still does. It just has been condensed a little bit. Florence is no longer included in this tornado warning. The rotation, or really what's left of this tornado warning cell, is right now west of Bartlett, or Bartlett, excuse me. Again, moving off to the east, just south of Holland. So that's where we have the strongest rotation as of right now. Alrighty, let me back over to chat here. Again, if you're just tuning in, make sure to hit the like button down below. Also, if you're not, or if you are new, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Again, we'll be keeping you updated with the latest on the severe weather potential for tonight. Again, all across Texas is where our greatest threat is tonight. We've already seen a potential tornado already, and that was with this tornado warning cell near Interstate 35. Beyond that, again, tornado watch is still ongoing until midnight tonight. That includes a large area. So Palestine, Huntsville, Bryan, Brenham, all these areas, San Marcos, Austin, all included in a tornado watch tonight. Waco's also included, but Waco's probably just going to get storm activity. Doesn't look to be anything too crazy up there right now, but that's our tornado watch for tonight. Does go until midnight tonight, so we'll be watching this area very closely. Let's go back in and zoom in and see what's going on here. And we have some areas that we're watching really closely, because again, along this line of storms is where we're watching for the potential for maybe a QLCS situation. There are going to be some areas to watch tonight embedded in this line. This seems to be the most prominent area for right now, because we still have a very, I would say, weak inflow going to the storm near Bartlett. That's an area that, again, we're seeing a little bit of inflow, not nearly as strong or pronounced as before, but we'll be watching that as it moves off to the east, because again, it could potentially produce a tornado threat down the road along that boundary boundary that we've been talking about that obviously has a bit more of an area to work with in terms of low level and as well as mid-level shear. Again, anywhere really along the boundary that goes from about Bartlett back through about Bryan and goes through Interstate 45 near Huntsville. So that's the area that we're watching for potential, really the greatest tornado threat, I would say, is going to be right along that boundary. Now, that will shift a little bit, possibly a bit further north, so things may change a little bit in the long term. We do have a wind gust report coming out of Morgan's Point Rezo out of Bell County, Texas. This is a 68-mile-per-hour wind gust report there at the Temple Airport. Okay, that'd be why. So at the Temple Airport, again, 68-mile-per-hour wind gust there. That is near Temple, out of this line of storms, and the warning's only for 60 right now, but we are seeing, looks like, upwards of 70 miles per hour in terms of damaging winds right now along this line of storms. We are seeing our highest winds, it looks like right now, west of Holland. That is, again, just north of the tornado warning cell near Bartlett right now. And then back up here to the north, we have some high wind gusts, it looks like, kind of on the leading edge here, back near Bruceville Eddy. So it seems like those brighter reds are going to be representing your higher wind speeds. Again, that is back up north of Troy, and as well as just south and west of Lott. We do have a brand new tornado warning that has just been issued. It is going to be in association with the tornado warning we just had. Brand new tornado warning for Holland, Buckholtz, as well as south of Rogers. Brand new. Seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible if you're included in this tornado warning. Again, brand new tornado warning, currently moving off to the east towards Cameron and going towards Highway 190. Again, seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. Dangerous cell right now, moving off to the east. We'll try to see if I can get a better velocity view on this storm. Let's go over to this. And I'm not seeing anything too defined for right now. Again, if there were to be a tornado right now or at any point in the short term, it would probably be somewhere located back in here near Bartlett. That seems like the best chance of where we may see a tornado at any time. So that's where we're watching right now for a tornadic threat. Again, brand new tornado warning, though, was just issued for Holland, and as well as areas like Buckholtz and just west of Cameron along that 190 stretch back near Buckholtz. So again, make sure you're seeking shelter. Brand new tornado warning that we're watching here in just south of Waco and north of Austin. That's where we're at as of right now. All right. This is a very active night probably ahead still. I mean, again, tornado watch goes for 3 hours. The peak of the activity that was forecasted tonight was going to be around 10 to 11 o'clock. So we very well may see an increase of activity even from beyond now. We do have a new damage report coming out of areas north or just west of Temple, at a Temple Airport, just 6 miles west of the Temple Airport. 4-inch tree snapped in half. So that's the report out of there. Again, 68-mile-per-hour wind gust up there. Quarter-sized hail is the most recent hail report we had embedded with this area of storms. It is currently warned for ping-pong ball-sized hail. Might get downgraded. Again, lapse rates are not overly high tonight, so the overall hail threat is not that high. It should be pretty low, even though we've seen upwards of golf ball-sized hail out of this area of storms. That hail threat does seem like it's going down a little bit. What's going to really increase from here on out will be the tornado threat. It will increase a little bit here over the next hour or two, and also the damaging wind threat. Those are our main concerns for tonight. Heading into the night, obviously, that was the biggest concern. Hail was obviously a concern as well. Pretty much within the last couple of hours was really our peak, with the lapse rates being a little bit higher, and obviously these storms just forming, the initial storms that form, again, typically produce higher hail threats overall. Alrighty. Hey, Patricia, how you doing? Welcome back. Yeah, this is pretty insane, I would say. I mean, this is not out of the blue, though, from what was forecasted tonight. This was definitely what we were expecting in terms of severe weather tonight. And the Storm Prediction Center was definitely pretty, I would say, spot on with this sort of forecast, because this is what we were expecting. I mean, it was definitely going to be a threat really down here in southeast Texas. Tornado threat, not high by any means. It's still on the low side, not like low, but pretty much on the low side. But right along this boundary that I've been talking about, from about Bartlett back through about Huntsville, that's the area that we have really the greatest tornado threat. So any storms within this region, let me kind of outline it here, but this region really would have probably the best potential for a tornado threat tonight, at least within the next 3 hours. Obviously, we may see an isolated tornado threat even further north, potentially even further south than that, but that definitely seems like the most likelihood of seeing a tornadic threat tonight, and we're currently seeing that right now near Holland. Again, tornado warning is ongoing currently. We're waiting for the next radar update. Should be coming in here in just a moment, but we'll have that here in just a moment. Again, tornado, or the next update should be coming out within the next minute. We're currently at the 9:02 p.m. scan, so this radar is updating every about 5 minutes, just for kind of clarification for right now. This is currently Texas. We're only covering Texas tonight. There's no other states to cover. It's literally all Texas tonight. That's where the entire severe weather event's going to shape up to be in. Currently in DFW, somebody was asking, we're not looking at much. isolated quarter-sized hail is possible. Frisco actually just had that report. Beyond that, though, just storms. I mean, isolated severe weather is possible, but I'm not expecting much of anything. We've had a couple of storms that were discrete. One had a pretty decent-looking hook at one point, but there's just not much shear at all up there, so I'm not expecting any tornadic threat tonight that far north, but there might be some isolated damaging winds, maybe an isolated hail threat as well back up there into the north in North Texas. So if you're back up in like the DFW Metroplex, I know I have a lot of viewers out of there. That's what we're looking at for tonight in terms of the severe weather potential. I'm going to go back over to here real quick. I'm going to post this on my Facebook page. I do North Texas Weather Center on Facebook, by the way, so I have to post this real quick, but just give me 1 second. Yeah, if you're just tuning in, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. If you're new here, we'll be keeping you updated with the latest on everything that you need to know for tonight. Be doing live coverage here for a little bit. All right, over here. See if we have any new updates coming out of any of these tornado warned cells. Gonna see if we have any updates on Twitter. So for right now, I'm not seeing any updates in terms of a tornado that has already happened. We've had no confirmation of a confirmed tornado. Again, it was very tight rotation at the time. We may have had a tornado somewhere there in Interstate 35. Winds on radar were estimated to be upwards of 90 miles per hour. So that's obviously a possibility with these storms. We may have seen winds as high as 90 miles per hour at this point with this area of storm. So, and obviously it could go up from there. We're definitely watching this closely, though. Again, maximum wind speed for tonight was the maximum being forecasted by the Storm Prediction Center was 75 miles per hour. It may have been higher, though. The velocities near the surface were showing around 90 back up near Interstate 35 west of Bartlett. So I'll be watching that obviously pretty closely. Next radar update's coming in right now, so we'll see what this storm looks like in a moment, see if it's strengthened, recycled, anything like that. We'll have that information for you here in just a moment. Again, this radar update's coming in pretty late, about 8-minute delay here, it looks like, on the radar update, which is a pretty long time. We'll have it here in just a moment. I'm surprised this radar is not going faster. Typically, they can typically control the radar speed and how quickly it updates, but this is about an 8-minute delay on the radar update, which is not good, I would say. But we'll see what happens here in just a moment. Should be coming out here momentarily. The radar site also may have some sort of potential issue, but has not updated. This is about 8 minutes now. We've not had an update. Hey, Hills, how you doing? So somebody's reporting that we had a tornado that would tracked around Interstate 35, about 2.5 miles south of Jarrell, Texas. So there may have actually been a confirmed tornado with this area of storms. Obviously, the tornado warned cell where we had the strongest rotation, really tight, was about right here where my black line is, so east of Florence and west of Bartlett. There may have been a tornado. I'm getting somebody said on Twitter that there has been a tornado that tracked along Interstate 35. So it seems like we may have already had a tornado with this cell. That's, again, I take it with a grain of salt, not confirmed, but there was, at least on Twitter, a report of that. But it does seem like our radar site has, at this point, been delayed from updating. We are still awaiting an update on this storm. Let me go over to the high def and see if that's updated. That is not either. So we're still waiting an update on the storm here. Let's see if we have any other radar sites. And this is now a 9-minute delay on the radar. I think the radar site has glitched out, but it has been updating its higher up scan, so it should be coming back through here in a second. But again, if you're in Holland, Buckholz, anywhere in these areas, make sure you're seeking shelter. Again, this is a very dangerous storm, but for the time being, it does not seem like this radar is currently updating. The radar site has not yet been hit. There's a possibility, though, it got hit maybe with some downburst winds, but again, the radar site has just completely stopped working here. Does anybody know has anybody seen any reports on Twitter of the radar site going down? Yeah, I'm currently not seeing any somebody said in chat, radar site's down due to direct hit from winds. That is definitely a possibility. That's what I was kind of thinking, but this radar site may have actually gone down, which is not good. The closest radar site, I'm pretty sure, from here is DFW, which is not going to be very helpful. This is a much better look at the storm right now, though. The storm is much closer to Buckholz now, so if you're in Buckholz or Cameron, make sure you're seeking shelter. This is the best view we're going to get for the time being until it updates. But the latest at this current time is that the storm is much closer now to Buckholz and going towards Cameron. The ongoing tornado warning for Granger, I believe it's still ongoing, but has at this point not been updated to any other stance at this point. So again, it seems like where our rotation probably is now is going to be somewhere out here. But again, radar is not updated now in about 11 minutes. So it does seem like this radar site has probably gone down. Back down here near Granger, which is obviously the closest one that we have. I'll try to go further southwest. I'm not sure. Actually, we can go further south. Let's try this one. This one's not too far. Back near Austin, we'll try this one. All right, here's a better look at the storm. Again, we're not going to get a perfect view on this. It seems like the radar site has taken a direct hit, maybe damaged or potentially completely down here near Granger. So the latest update, obviously the rotation is much further east than what I was just showing you. It's going to be somewhere just west of Buckholz, though. Somewhere probably in here is where we're seeing our rotation the strongest. I'll go back over to the velocities. I'm not sure if we're going to be picking up much. And yeah, the rotation is the strongest right now southeast of Holland. So again, make sure you're seeking shelter away from windows, lowest floor possible. If you're out in front of this storm, it will be moving towards Cameron. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Austin, as well as Georgetown and Taylor. We also have another severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued further south for those down near San Marcos, as well as north of San Antonio for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. Again, our biggest concern right now is this tornado warning cell that is currently moving towards Cameron. And again, it does seem like our radar site has gone down. I'm not getting any updates anymore, so we'll go back down to this one for right now. Unfortunately, the radar site that's literally right next to the storm it seems like taking a direct impact and probably has been damaged from the winds. That is kind of what I'm assuming as of right now in terms of the radar site, which again is not good news and not something that we want to see. I'm trying to find a tab here. We do have a live cam, by the way, out of DFW tonight, but that's not going to be that important, it looks like. We do have a live cam, though, out of DFW. We'll be watching that closely. That's out of Lantana, Texas, which you've already seen rain. All right. Yes, we have had a confirmation. Yeah, there was 70-mile-per-hour winds nearly at the Temple Airport. That's our latest update out of that area. From somebody that reported on Twitter, again, I can't just take it with a grain of salt. Back near Interstate 35, somebody said there was a tornado that was confirmed back over here east of Florence. Again, can't confirm it. There was very tight rotation. I almost don't doubt there was a tornado there, but obviously can't confirm it 100%. But I would say about 95% sure there was a tornado back here near Interstate 35 about 15 to 20 minutes ago west of Bartlett. So that's when we had a obviously very tight rotation on radar. If you were watching the stream at the very beginning, the latest radar updates are still showing some pretty decent rotation, so it may still be strong. Again, we're pretty far away from the radar sites, but just southeast of Holland is where rotation is currently the strongest. It'll be moving towards Cameron over the next little while, as well as Buckholz. Again, this storm is moving about 45 to 50 miles per hour off to the east. All right, we do have damage reports coming in of the area that possibly had a tornado, so kind of listen up here. So as of 8:50, this is when we had a possible tornado on the ground near Jarrell. Law enforcement reports an overturned 18-wheeler and cars in a ditch along Interstate 35 approximately 2 miles south-southwest of Jarrell. So there possibly was a tornado. If not, there were very high downburst winds because the winds on radar were estimated to be somewhere near 90 miles per hour. So that is our latest update there out of Jarrell. This is an area that we may have had a tornado on the ground. So obviously that's not something you want to see, but it seems like some pretty substantial damage there along the interstate. And yeah, definitely not something you want to see. All right, let's go back over to here. Again, the radar site is no longer working near Granger, it looks like. That one has gone down, so we're trying to keep you updated with the latest from a radar site that's a little bit further south. Again, it seems like really the strongest rotation, if there is still rotation remaining, is going to be back here, probably just southwest of Buckholz and just southwest of Cameron. So if you're in Cameron or Buckholz, you should be seeking shelter right now immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible, as this storm, again, continues to track out to the east. Jarrell, thank you, JP. You missed a possible tornado on the ground. That's what we've seen at this point. So, yeah, there may have been already a tornado on the ground. And that, again, this is somewhere near Jarrell, west of Bartlett. That was where we had the strongest rotation, very tight rotation. About 8:50 to 8:55 was kind of the timing on that. So, that's what we've seen so far. All right, let me back over to... take a look at this. See if we have any reports coming on Twitter. Again, the most recent report we had was there was a confirmed tornado, but that was a little while ago. But that's the latest. I don't see anything new at this point on that. All right. Thank you, Stoll, for the $20 super chat. I appreciate that a lot, Stoll. Thank you. I'm going to take a double check and see if we have a radar update on this. Yeah, it does seem like it's going to be down here for a while. If not, it might even be down for the rest of the night. I don't think we have any radar sites that are in front of it, which makes it pretty difficult to see what's going on out in front of this. So Unfortunately, as I mentioned before, it does seem like our radar site here has gone down. So at this point, obviously things may change, but for right now, it does seem like that has gone down right now. And that was the one near Granger, which is not something you want to see. Again, tornado warning still ongoing. Make sure you're still in shelter if you're in Buckholz. This goes for another 12 minutes. Again, there was a possible tornado already. Let me go back over to the velocities. We'll see if we have anything on the velocities, but it's going to be difficult to really pick out if there is really a tornado or not. This is where our strongest rotation is right now. Go to the correlation coefficient. It's not showing anything defined by any means, but again, we are fairly far away from the radar site. So that would explain why we are not going to be able to get a good justification if there were to be a tornado or not at this point. So let's back up here to the north. Again, if you're just tuning in, you're from the Metroplex back up in North Texas. Not much of a severe weather threat for tonight back up in North Texas. This entire region here is mostly just going to be strong storms with an isolated severe storm, possibly some isolated damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, maybe a little bit of isolated quarter-sized hail. The biggest concern tonight will again be down here to the south where we're seeing all the severe weather action so far, which would basically be from about Waco back through about San Antonio for right now. Eventually going into the next few hours, we'll see severe weather really track out to the east. So areas like Huntsville, Conroe, as well as Brenham, all going to see severe weather most likely at some point over the next 3 to 4 hours. Now, the line of storms currently is moving about 40 to 45 miles per hour off to the east. So it is a pretty quick moving line of storms. So that hence why the tornado watch is only going until midnight. And not just that, the watch is not huge by any means. So that's why we're seeing a, really, that's probably why we're going to end up seeing these storms going that kind of pace at this point. And obviously the tornado watch goes until midnight tonight. So that's what we're looking at for right now. Yeah, this is definitely not something you want to see. Unfortunately, again, we do not have a radar site on this storm, other than the one further down to the south. So the obviously the radar intel, we're not going to really get great radar intel from the south, but we'll try to do the best we can here. Hey, thank you, Patricia, for the $10 super chat as well. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Appreciate the support. Repeating, in Houston won't see too much tonight. You'll probably at least get some storms. Severe weather-wise, it's possible, but I would definitely expect at least some storm activity a little bit later, probably just after midnight or so would be my guess, at least in terms of timing tonight. Thank goodness there's no rain in Houston. You might see some rain later, trust me. You'll probably see some rain overnight. It'll probably be closer to 1 to 2 a.m. because currently the line of storms is way back here to the west. I mean, this is at least 150 miles away. So timing-wise, it'll probably be closer to 1 a.m. But the line is currently moving east for the most part, maybe a little bit east-northeast. Back down here near San Antonio and Austin, it's moving a little bit more directly east. Further up to the north here, it's moving a little bit more east-northeast. Direction, not a huge difference, but definitely kind of notable there. What is Waco looking like? Waco's going to be clearing out here over the next little while. Just some strong storms, if anything, right now. That's about it right now. I'm not seeing anything too crazy right now. It's mostly just downpours, maybe a couple of isolated, a little bit of lightning maybe out there, but not really anything that severe for right now, which is good news. We do have a new, no, we do not, actually, never mind. Thought we had a new wind gust report. Again, the most recent report was out of Jarrell. That was of law enforcement reported an overturned 18-wheeler as well as cars in the ditch along Interstate 35, approximately 2 miles southwest of Jarrell. Again, that's an area that we possibly had a tornado on the ground at one point. The current ongoing storm that is possibly producing a tornado threat is still near Cameron. Next radar update comes here in a moment. This is about 7 minutes delayed, so we are not having much luck at all tonight in terms of the radars. They are updating not very frequently, which is not something you want to see. Let's go back over here. College Station's going to probably get hit within the next hour or so. Let me actually put back on a timing guide here. Obviously, we do have a new radar update. We'll get that here in just a second. This is a look at the overall speed of the storms, when you can probably get impacted by them, give or take a few minutes on this. But areas like College Station, for example, forecasted around 10:20 tonight. So you're going to be hit within the next hour or so. Cameron within the next few minutes, as well as areas like Rockdale 9:37, as well as Lockhart 9:54, Bryan 10:18, as well as Brenham 10:39, and Crockett 11:15. That's your timing again for those in the line of this storm, or these storms, excuse me, that are currently moving off to the east towards areas like Crockett and Huntsville. So That's what we're looking at in terms of the overall threat for tonight. Now, just west of Cameron is where we still have that ongoing tornado warning. We'll see if this gets extended. It's definitely a possibility, but that is, again, definitely not out of the question that we may get a new tornado warning with this as it moves off to the east. No problem, Felicia. Be watching it closely. Let me see if we have any new updates coming in on Twitter. Doesn't seem like we do. So yeah, for right now, we don't have any confirmation other than one person that said that there was a tornado that did track across Interstate 35. It goes up with this report, by the way. Somebody said on Twitter, 2.5 miles south of Jarrell. That was an area that we possibly had a tornado. They said there was a tornado that tracked across that area, and the report is 2 miles south of there as well, which does kind of go with it, because again, we had an 18-wheeler that was overturned and then cars in a ditch, so it does seem like we probably had at least very strong downburst winds, if not a tornado there near Interstate 35 at the very beginning of this live stream, which that tornado did look very strong at the given time. So definitely not out of the question that we possibly had even a strong tornado there. At least in EF1, I would say, with the wind speeds that we saw on radar, there were upwards of 95 miles per hour. So I'll have to wait and see what happens though tomorrow. Obviously, we will not have any confirmation on the category of a tornado up until they survey it and whatnot, if there were to be one. Very well could have been downburst winds as well, but we do not have any confirmation as of yet on that. But we'll keep you updated. Again, tornado warning goes for another 6 minutes. So again, if you're anywhere just west of Cameron, make sure that you are in shelter for the next 6 minutes until this warning does expire. Just a friendly reminder, again, if you're just tuning in, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. We are only 139 subscribers from 25,000. Also, make sure to hit the like button, and this will get out to more people that are in the track of these severe storms and also the tornado warn cells. We do have a special weather statement that has been issued, by the way. It's a fairly large area that's going from about Greenville back through about Waco. This is for gusty winds up to 50 miles per hour. This is associated with the other cluster of storms, all embedded with the same line of storms. We'll take a quick look and see if any of these have any rotation. I am curious to see, because again, we do have a couple of these little notches that I was kind of seeing here on the radar, but nothing too crazy. This is going to be possibly a development though. Back north of Blooming Grove, we have a little bit of a notch there. Wilmer. So yeah, this is an area to watch. We may get a little potential QLCS situation this far north as well. And again, special weather statement is ongoing there, so we'll be watching that area pretty closely. Again, just a friendly reminder, radar site that is currently right next to the tornado warning is down, so we do not have any sort of close range radar sites on these tornado warning cells, so we will not have any really definitive looks at the velocities other than from the long distance, which it does seem like it's more of a wind threat right now moving through areas like Cameron. So at least what we're looking at right now. See if we have anything closer. Yeah, that is our closest radar site, so we'll be dealing with that here for a little while. Is it supposed to rain in Ohio on Tuesday? I don't know about Tuesday. Maybe Wednesday. I'm not entirely sure though, because rain is kind of I typically only do really severe weather sort of stuff. I mean, my forecast, if you watch those, you'll probably have a better idea, but I'm pretty sure rain is not expected tomorrow. Wednesday, I think it is, because the trough that is really associated right now with the severe weathers down here, that will eventually move towards the Ohio Valley. So I wouldn't be surprised if that went further off to the north and potentially brought a little bit of rain maybe on Wednesday to Ohio. But yeah, Dallas should be clearing out now. Yeah, anywhere back over near Dallas definitely gonna be clearing out here. So at least that'll be a little bit of good news back up there. We have another damage report coming out of the area where we do suspect there may have been a tornado. There's reports of trailers blocking the Interstate 35 service road and Jarrell. Also reports of windows blown out at the fire station. So it does seem like that was either very strong downburst winds or we had a tornado. One of the two happened there near Interstate 35. Again, probably a tornado with what we saw on radar, but the winds were also very high as well. So that's just the latest update there. So again, we possibly had a tornado there back about 30 minutes ago, 35 minutes ago. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. It does include areas from about Martin, goes back up through areas just west of Interstate 45 through about areas like Groesbeck, saying the name right, back through about Hearn, a lot of names I can't pronounce here. I'm from Texas and I can't pronounce these names. Rockdale, as well as Cameron and Franklin and Bremond are all included. Again, damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, and also potential for up to ping pong ball size hail will be possible with that cluster of storms. These two tornado warnings go for another couple of minutes. We'll see if we get a new one or not. For right now, though, I'm not seeing any indication that we'll get a new tornado warning, but since there's no really definitive area that we can see this storm from, there may be a new tornado warning. We will see. But again, I'll be moving towards Cameron and Milano here over the next several minutes, so we'll be watching that very closely. You're saying them right? Am I actually? Didn't think I was. Yes, again, we are in Texas tonight. You are going to be in Texas really throughout this entire live stream. There's no other severe weather expected tonight outside of here. Now, tomorrow, I might go live. I have a lot of homework to do, so I don't know if I'll be able to go live tomorrow. But I might go live tomorrow. That'll be the Dixie Valley. So, again, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Turn on post notifications by clicking that bell icon so you get notified if or when I go live tomorrow. But again, we'll be live here for a little while covering these storms, so stay tuned. I'll zoom out just a little bit. Here's a little zoomed out look. Again, we got several severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing. Tornado warnings go for another minute as well, so. Jarrell? Is it Jarrell for that area? All right, let me back over to Twitter and see if we have any new updates here. Yeah, the new severe thunderstorm warning, by the way, includes about 160,000 people, just for reference. That is the new one back up here to the north. For those that are like Marlin, for example, this includes 160,000 people. Again, that'll be for Perry, as well as Franklin, Rockdale, or the main areas included. Temple, Texas is also included, which actually we have a new damage report coming out of Temple of at least 4-inch tree limbs down in Temple. There's several of them. We did have a wind gust upwards of 70 miles per hour there as well, so that would make sense. So that's our latest update there. But again, we have 2 damage reports out of the area that we may have had a tornado on the ground. That was back again west of Bartlett, but we'll keep you updated with the latest if we get any new details on that. For right now, though, it does not seem like we'll have a new tornado warning. We will see what happens. Again, for right now, there's no new tornado warning in this cell. Let me go ahead and take this off. Let's go back over to the severe thunderstorm warning. Take it back over to this screen for now. Since both tornado warnings are set to expire for now, we will see if we get any new ones. Again, this is a prime area for a tornadic threat, so we'll be watching this pretty closely as it again moves off to the east. Hey, thank you, Radio, for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate your compliment, by the way. Thank you very much. By the way, I appreciate everybody's super chat. Whoever super chat tonight, I really do appreciate you. Do apologize. A lot of them were during the tornado warning, so I wasn't able to really read them. All right, we have a person that is confirming tornado damage out of Interstate 35 west of Bartlett. So yeah, there is confirmation that we do have some damage coming out of areas just south of Jarrell. So that is the latest in terms of this area here west of Bartlett. Let me back over to Twitter. I'm going to retweet that, by the way, so if you want to check that out, you can check out my Twitter. Link is in the description, but that's the latest there. So, does seem like we do have, again, some damage reports. Again, we've had plenty of damage reports just west of Bartlett. That was where we did have a tornado warning ongoing. Let me take the tornado warning tag off my bed. Oop, I did not mean to do that. Let's go back over to here, and let's change this back over to severe thunderstorm warning. But yeah, it does seem like we actually have confirmation, though, of potentially at least tornadic damage there east of Florence. So, does not seem like it was actually downburst winds, but it does seem like it was most likely tornado damage. That's what we've seen, at least on Twitter so far. I'm seeing some, turned over semi-trucks, basically, and also cars and ditches and whatnot. That's what we've kind of gotten reports of at this point, so. Back over here. Do we have any other reports coming in? Yeah, so that's the latest report. All right. Back over to chat. Yeah, if you have any questions, by the way, feel free to leave them in the chat. If you're just tuning in for the first time, again, friendly reminder, hit that subscribe button down below. We are quickly approaching 25,000 subscribers. We're only 103 away. So if you have not already, make sure to hit the subscribe button, like the live stream so this gets out to more people. Let's get a rundown, though, of what's going on right now across the radar. We'll kind of go back through that right now. Back north of San Antonio, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. This is moving quickly off to the east, mainly a damaging wind threat. This is all, for the most part, outflow driven. We do have an outflow boundary that is just out in front of these storms near Austin, Texas, for example. So it does seem like the tornadic threat this far south is a bit lower. Further off to the north, we do still have severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing for up to ping pong ball sized hail. Just southeast of Temple is where we have the pretty much strongest hail core. Also have another hail core back up here west of Bremond that is currently producing the potential for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. And again, ping pong ball sized hail cannot rule out an isolated tornado threat as this line continues to track out to the east. That is not out of the question with this line of storms. Further off to the north, we do have a special weather statement ongoing. We have a whole line of storms that extends across a large area of Texas. Let's go back over to the live radar. And currently, it's just a line of storms. It goes all the way back through about, it looks like Bonham, so back east of Sherman, and extends all the way, obviously, back through areas like Austin and San Antonio. This is all, for the most part, just strong storms, though. We're not looking at anything severe for the time being. We very well may see some isolated severe weather out of this line. Definitely cannot rule out an isolated QLCS situation where you might see an isolated brief or weak tornado. But for right now, it does seem like the greatest concern right now with this line will probably be gusty winds for the time being. Definitely can't rely on an isolated tornado threat, though, as that moves off to the east. Let's go and put a little track on this, so those that are out in areas just east of North Texas get an idea of when you might see storms tonight. Again, most of these storms are moving about 45 to 50 miles per hour. So timing will be on the left side of your screen for the line of storms back up in North Texas. So Corsicana, 942, Terrell, 948, as well as Greenville, 952, Commerce, 1007, Athens, 1023, Sulphur Springs, 1030, Palestine, right around 1050, Tyler, 1104, Jacksonville, 1111, Mount Pleasant, 1117, and Gladewater, 1131. I know I have a few viewers from Longview, Texas. If you're in Longview, it'll be right around 1145 ETA for that line of storms as it moves off to the east. So that's our latest update there. Thanks, Hills. I appreciate it. All right, let's go back over to here. Let's take that off for now. Let's go back down further to the south. Again, if you're just tuning in, we have a couple of updates. I'm going to kind of catch you up on what's happened so far. So, first update, we looks like had a confirmed tornado just along Interstate 35 west of Bartlett. That is, again, pretty much far. It's pretty far south of Waco. It's closer to areas like Round Rock and Austin. So just north of there, that was near Jarrell, for example. That was the area that we had a possible tornado. Let me get on the radar here. That was an area that it looks like we had at least very high downburst winds, if not a confirmed tornado there. Semi-trucks were blown over, cars in the ditch. We've had a lot of crazy reports out of there. As of 8:50, that was about 40 minutes ago, it seems like we did have a tornado that was confirmed there. Otherwise, we've had a lot of hail reports and other damage reports. We've had wind gusts confirmed at an airport, at Temple Airport, of around 70 miles per hour. That was back up in Bell County, Texas. Also, we've had hail as high as golf ball sized in Bell County. So Bell County has seen the worst of the severe weather so far, just north of Round Rock in Williamson County. That is where we had a tornado possibly confirmed. We have a new report now coming out of areas near Travis County, back near Windmere. This is for broken 1-inch tree limbs and shingles blown off of roofs. So that is our latest update there. So it looks like we're having some damage to roofs as well. Some shingles have now been blown off a roof over there in Round Rock. So that's our latest update there. Definitely not something that you want to see, but that is what we're getting out of there. Obviously, very strong line of storms. This will be an ongoing threat through at least probably 11 to 12 o'clock tonight. It does seem like, though, the QLCS situation very well could redevelop as this line of storms continues to move off to the east. What that basically means is that we might see a couple of brief and weak tornadoes as this moves off to the east. We may have even had a strong tornado near Interstate 35. So that is our latest updates at this point. And obviously not something that you want to see, but we'll be watching that situation again very closely. It does seem like it was probably a tornado. If you guys were watching at the very beginning of the stream, the rotation was very strong, so I definitely would not rule out that that was a tornado. I almost guarantee it was a tornado, but yeah, we don't have any like confirmed reports. Obviously, we had a lot of damage out of that area. Very well could have been high downburst winds, but I would go ahead and say it was probably a tornado with what we saw on radar. And we're getting another report, by the way, on Twitter near exits 273 and exits 273 and 272 near Jarrell. That is where we had flipped over empty livestock haulers and flatbed trailers. I'm not sure what that terminology is, but that's some more damage that we had coming out of there, out of Jarrell. Again, that was on Interstate 35 southbound. This is between exits 273 and 272. So if you're familiar with this area, that is where the damage has been reported. Again, this is a closer look at it. And not really any city names here, just west of Bartlett, excuse me. It's really where we saw that, north of Georgetown. So that was our confirmed, potentially, or not really confirmed, but pretty much a very likelihood that we saw a tornado there. Otherwise, though, we've had some damage reports outside of that from just damaging winds. So that's obviously going to be a concern, is the damaging wind potential with these storms as well as this moves off to the east. We do have a new mesoscale discussion, by the way, coming out. And this is going to be coming out, or I'll probably show it here on screen once I get it. Let me put it on screen if I can. It's kind of an important mesoscale discussion that I want to mention. This is the latest mesoscale discussion. It's going to include really the tornado watched area. A couple of things to point out. Severe wind gusts and tornadoes remain possible with the strongest of storms, especially near the outflow boundary, which the outflow boundary for right now is kind of located right about here. So that is where our greatest tornado threat will be, is right along that outflow boundary, which right now, the storm that was a potentially tornadic cell, and it was obviously tornado warned, that is an area area where we may see some redevelopment, possibly another tornado threat down the road. Another thing to note is that our greatest severe weather short-term threat is going to be in this region. So near Bryan, just near Huntsville as well, south of Palestine, that is our highest potential, it seems like, at least in the short term, for a potential tornadic threat, and as well as any severe weather in general, so damaging winds also included in that. So that is the area that we're watching very closely for in this latest mesoscale discussion. We have another one back up in DFW. It's mainly just for some isolated severe weather, nothing too crazy it looks like. I don't expect much of a tornado threat, at least in this area. Definitely can't rule out, though, as those storms move a bit further to the east. But yeah, again, if you're just tuning in, we do have a radar site that has now been out. It seems like it took some pretty hefty storm damage in terms of winds back over there northeast of Round Rock. So that's our latest update, at least out of just northeast of Round Rock. That is our closest radar site to these storms. That is why the radar does not look nearly as crisp as it typically does. So just a little update there. It does seem like we're starting to get maybe this is where this is an outflow boundary that we have actually ongoing just west of San Marcos. It does seem like it's trying to develop a little hook, though. We'll be watching that closely. Again, that's near San Marcos as of right now. Pretty decent storm activity here. Definitely some very heavy rain in this region as well near Wimberley. So we'll be watching that closely as that moves off to the east. That's our latest update, though, out of there. Thanks, Corey. I appreciate it. We are only 45 subscribers away from 25,000. If you've not already, again, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. I would appreciate it. Also, make sure to like the live stream if you are enjoying the content. That is insane, though. I didn't think we'd hit that tonight. Pretty close to it, though. Yeah, Gerald is actually, they've had for those that are not familiar with Texas history in terms of severe weather, where this tornado happened was very close to an area that we saw an EF5 tornado. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was in 1999. There was an EF5 tornado that went through this area. And this tornado did not happen far, or if this was a tornado, it did not happen very far away from the area of where the EF5 happened. So, obviously, not something that you want to see there in Gerald. So, just for those that want a little bit of history, though, there again, there was an EF5 tornado, 1997. Thank you. So, yeah, back in 1997. It was 1999 or 1997. I didn't want to get wrong, but I did. But yeah, that is definitely a crazy tornado, to say the least. And this one may have obviously been another tornado that we saw not too long ago. So. But well, again, we'll be monitoring to see if we have any other reports that come out of there. We've had a decent amount of damage reports so far. May have been a tornado. It also could have been just strong downburst winds. But we'll have, obviously, more news about that tomorrow for sure. The National Weather Service will definitely go out and survey that. So, hey, thank you, Texie, for becoming a 5-month Storm Chaser member. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks, Campbell. I appreciate it. We're only 10 subscribers away from 25,000. I hate to get away from weather, but that is insane. We're only 10 subscribers away from one of the craziest milestones I never thought I'd even get close to. That is insane. And we have officially crossed 25,000 subscribers. I cannot believe that. We've officially crossed an insane milestone that I never thought I'd reach of 25,000 subscribers. Obviously, I'm going to get away from severe weather for just a second, but I do appreciate everybody that has subscribed and support my page to this point. I mean, it's literally insane to think that it's gone this far. Just thinking back like 3 or 4 months ago, I was at like 3,000 or 4,000 subscribers. At one point, you know, back earlier in the spring, I was only at like 500. So I do appreciate everybody's support. It does mean the world. And even if you're just watching or not even subscribed, I do really appreciate you tuning in anyway. So it's a crazy journey that this has been, to say the least. And I'm glad I'm helping so many people out with severe weather. And obviously Hurricane Ian was a big one as well that we were covering. So appreciate everybody's support. That is insane, though. Hey, thank you, Clint, for becoming a Storm Chaser member as well. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. It's crazy to think. Holy moly. All right. Let's get back to the weather. Man, that's insane, though. That is insane. It's crazy. It literally just felt like we had 10,000 subscribers like yesterday, too. And that was only 2 or 3 months ago. It's pretty crazy. All right, well, let's get back to the severe weather action. I wanted to see if we have any other reports coming in or any photos out of these storms. I'll take a look and see. Been here since 1,000. There's not very many people have been here before 5,000. So it's a very small number. I know a lot of people that are from the below 1,000 people. See if we have any photos coming in here. I'm gonna go zoom back in on the San Marcos storm. We do have a new radar update coming in right now, so we'll see what happens with this. This is pretty much, I would say, probably one of the strongest storms that we have right now. That's near Kyle. So I would say that this is probably one of the stronger storms that we're seeing associated near San Marcos. So back up here to the north near Round Rock, for example, this is an area that we had a tornado warning cell. Back near Cameron, it seems like where our strongest storm is right now. I'm going to go back to the DFW radar site, see if we have any better angle on this. This is near Cameron now. Again, this is going to be a difficult area to cover at this point, just due to the nature that we do not have any very good radar sites here, unfortunately. But it does seem like we still have a little bit of rotation potentially near Cameron, so we'll be watching that closely. Again, this was a tornado warning cell for a while. There very well may have actually been a tornado that was already confirmed with this cell back near Interstate 35 near Gerald. So again, kind of flashbacks to that EF5 tornado that happened back in 1997. Obviously not an EF5 tornado by any means, but there may have been a tornado there west of Bartlett. So we'll be watching that closely. Thank you, Stoll, for the $100 super chat. Let's get some claps in the chat for Stoll. I didn't even see that. I really do appreciate that. That is a very generous donation. Thank you very much, Stoll. I appreciate that. Holy moly. Got some claps in the chat for Stoll. Really do appreciate it. Thank you. Do tornadoes form in North Carolina? Tornadoes can really form, I mean, realistically, anywhere. I mean, the only thing is, I mean, there's no tornado threat in North Carolina at all right now, so at least in the short term. I know that, and for a preview, by the way, for tonight and tomorrow, so let me just kind of go over this for those that might be just tuning in. Tonight, this is the overall look at it. We still have a slight risk of severe weather. Any severe weather will basically be off in this direction tonight and further off to the east potentially. That is our threat for tonight. Greatest tornado threat will be across this area, basically north of Houston, back through Bryan, really in the tornado watch. Big thing, though, tomorrow is that we will have this threat shift off into the Dixie Valley. We may also have a tornado threat here just west of Montgomery, so we'll be watching this region very closely. Damaging winds, large hail is a possibility. Tornado threat will also exist, especially in areas back through here near Jackson and Montgomery. So that'll be an area to watch for tomorrow as well. We might go live again tomorrow. I have a load of homework to do, and I've literally not gotten to it, so I'll have to probably do that tomorrow. But hopefully I can get to it if I can. But we're watching that tomorrow as well. Near the San Antonio radar. How about this right here, Slippy? It's kind of off the storm. There's a possibility. Just west of Interstate 35. We might have a little bit of rotation here. Definitely some high winds to say the least, but we do have a little bit of broad rotation there. That is just north of the radar site near San Marcos. That is not a good sign, by the way. We do not need a potential another radar site to go out from wind damage. Again, if you're just tuning in, the one main radar site that we have for this tornado watch is out. That's northeast of Round Rock. So we're basically relying on some of the backup radars and as well as the high def radars a bit further south and north. This is an area they'll have to watch a little bit. There's a little bit of rotation there, so we're going to watch that closely. Again, that is near San Marcos, and that is north of New Braunfels. Braunfels, excuse me. Hopefully I'm saying that name right. All right, so we have new damage reports coming out. Additional information in Jarrell. That was the area that we had a potential confirmed tornado. It's not been confirmed yet, but there was a potential tornado. A large tree branch, approximately 14 inches in diameter, was snapped halfway down a tree at exit 275 in Jarrell, blocking a part of an access road. So that is a latest update back up to the north with a potential tornado. Again, the location of that was basically east of Florence. It was right about here. That was the two boxes there. You can see that was where we did have a potential tornado west of Bartlett. So again, not confirmed to this point, but it does seem like we definitely had some sort of tornado. But I'll have to wait and see what happens. But that does seem like the thing that we've seen. Let you know though, obviously, again, they typically survey it the next day. So see if we get that confirmation or not. Thanks, Heather. Appreciate it. Thank you, by the way, everybody. Don't thank me. It's a crazy milestone, but it's pretty crazy to hit 25,000 subscribers. Do appreciate it. Insanity. Well, yeah, we're watching this storm pretty closely. We'll be going back up to the north if we have any new updates there, but this does seem like the probably most severe storm right now near San Marcos. So at least in terms of a damaging wind threat, we very well could be upwards of 70 with this, so. Gerald. Is it Gerald? I keep getting different pronunciations in chat. Is it Gerald? Just say yes or no in the chat if that's the right pronunciation, because I can't seem to get it. I've had like 5 different people say different pronunciations, but doesn't seem like I'm getting it. Ron Fells, thank you, Clint. Hey, Sandra, how you doing? Welcome back. I know, Yoshi, it's crazy. Yes? Okay. Thank you, yes. Sorry. So I do apologize for those that are from that area. I used to live in Texas. For some reason, though, I just cannot remember, whatever reason, the pronunciation there. Hey, John, how you doing? Tyler, Texas update. Let's go a bit further off to the north. You will not be hit probably until 11 o'clock or so. Maybe a little bit earlier. Let's go back up here to the north, though, and take a look. So, yeah, probably not until 11 you'll be hit. Somewhere around 11:30. Damaging winds probably the main concern. Very brief tornado threat is still not impossible that far off to the north. We'll be watching that closely. But other than that, not anything too crazy expected for you. Other than just maybe a damaging wind threat. Hey, Astro, how you doing? Welcome back. Gerald, thank you. Say what's... Yeah, Hills, I know. Crazy that I can't say it. I figured it out, though, hopefully. All right, let's go back over to Twitter. I'll see if we have any new updates there. Again, this is the storm that I've been kind of monitoring here near San Marcos. We're watching this one closely. It may end up having a very low tornado potential. It has a little bit of rotation, so we'll be watching it. Let me go back over to Twitter. See if we have any new updates there. All right, so this is the latest update, by the way, from the National Weather Service in Fort Worth. Just kind of to reiterate what's been happening for like the last 40 minutes, or actually 50 minutes, I think it's now been. Our southern radar at Granger that covers central Texas is unfortunately down until further notice. Alternative radar sites include KFWS, KEWX, and KHGX. So obviously we had that radar site go down pretty early on into that storm that was tornado warned. Very well probably produced a tornado, and it also damaged the radar site, unfortunately. It seems like at least there's been some damage there. So unfortunately, that is the latest out of that radar site just east of Interstate 35. So unfortunately, we obviously need that. That's a really critical radar site because it really is covering the entire tornado watch. But unfortunately, that's out for now. We are really relying on a few of the radar sites. We have one back down just southeast of Houston, one back up near Fort Worth. We also have one back near San Antonio. This is basically the best radar site out of all three. The DFW radar site isn't bad either. It's more better for, I would say, any storms off to the north. So any of the storms that we're watching, basically near or north of Waco. So really, it's not much of anything, but it would basically be anything over up here to the north. But our biggest area of concern here is going to be in this stretch. So we'll be watching that radar site closely if there are any tornado warnings that do end up getting issued. So just a little update there. That was the latest from the National Weather Service in Fort Worth. It does seem like that radar site definitely is out, though, for now. Thanks, Devin, by the way. Appreciate it. All right, let's go over to the other radar real quick. I'll take a look at the velocities again. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything too crazy with this. We had a little bit of rotation. It's, for the most part, right now, it's just broad. But there was a little bit of rotation near San Marcos, near that outflow boundary. So we're monitoring that closely. Again, there very well could be a potential for a QLCS situation. Even this far south, it's definitely possible. So we'll be watching that closely. Hey, how you doing, Rockin'? Welcome back. So yeah, no new tornado warnings. No new warnings actually at all in the last few minutes. That does go with the fact that we don't have a radar sight back up to the north. So we'll have to watch. Obviously, we might get some new ones here soon. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the chat. I'll try to get to a few of them. Also, if you're new here, again, make sure to hit the subscribe button and like the video if you're enjoying the stream. Enjoying the coverage. Keep you updated with the latest. It's well past Louisville. Yes, it's pretty much done in DFW at this point. We're not going to see a whole lot more severe weather activity in the Metroplex tonight. It is pretty much, for the most part, done at this point. So, yeah, this is a look at the Metroplex. So the only storms left are basically in eastern DFW, back near Greenville and Terrell. Beyond that, though, these will continue to march out to the east. We'll basically be done with this situation within the next hour if you're in the eastern Metroplex. And then, obviously, this is a line of storms that's moving pretty quickly. So the quicker, obviously, it's moving about 40 to 45 miles per hour off to the east. So it'll eventually be near Tyler around 11 o'clock. So obviously that area will clear out pretty quickly here over the next hour. The only report that we've had confirmation of in the Metroplex in terms of severe weather was in Frisco of quarter-sized hail. Not anything too notable, but we definitely had a little bit of severe weather with this. That was not a severe thunderstorm warning storm either. So just kind of give you a perspective on all that. We have another damage report from earlier that we did not have before, I don't think. We actually have a couple back here. There was some 3-inch tree limbs broken and power poles snapped in Burnett. We also had another report back over there of the same thing with power poles broken. So same area. It looks like we have a duplicate report, but in different areas. So near Granite Shoals, and as well as near Highway 281. Those are the two areas that we saw that. Back near Temple, we're still seeing a ongoing threat. Ongoing damage there that's been reported even near Temple with some tree limbs down. We also had a wind gust of 70 miles per hour from earlier. There's definitely a possibility that this line is still producing upwards of 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. Quarter to $half sized hail was reported in the Temple region, and it's also peaked as high as golf ball size. So just kind of give you a perspective on that. Also 60 mile per hour wind gust was reported south of Interstate, I believe that's 14. Yeah, 14. And then in the one area that we had at the beginning of the stream, which may have had a tornado, was back near Gerald? I'm not gonna be able to say the name. That was along Interstate 35. Near exits 273 and 272. We had at this point, most likely a tornado that happened here. It probably lasted about a mile or two. And it was on the ground at the beginning of this live stream, if there was one, and it was a very tight rotation. So I'll have an update on that, though, tomorrow, once the National Weather Service does come out with a survey. So see what happens. Hey, thanks, Jaws. I appreciate it. Hey, Clover, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it. Palestine in the Jacksonville area tonight. Let me go a bit further north, give you an idea of what's happening up there. But I do think, for the most part, you're kind of in a little bit of a break right now. The line of storms that'll be coming toward you, it's basically just rain right now. But I would expect at least a damaging wind potential upwards of 60 miles per hour, so just make sure you take the proper precautions tonight. Beyond that, tornado threat is definitely still existent, but it's a bit lower this far off to the north. But just make sure you have a way to receive alerts tonight, for sure, Clover. Appreciate your $5 super chat. What about Florida? Florida's not seeing anything today, or really tomorrow. I don't think they're going to really see much at all for the next few days. I think it'll be a pretty quiet pattern for Florida. Gerald, thank you. Yeah. Hopefully I don't have to say the name again, because, man, I'm nowhere near it. That was really, I mean, that's where the closest location was in terms of that potential tornado, which is crazy because, again, for history's sake, there was an EF5 tornado in that same area back in 1997. So it's an area that we've obviously seen a tornado before. Yeah. Hey, thank you for the $2 super chat from Dog. Will I do coverage tomorrow? I don't know yet. The main reason why is because I've like a load of homework that I've not done. So if I'm able to get through all that, then I will. But if not, then unfortunately, I probably won't, but I'll try. We'll see. Because the threat tomorrow is more of, let me go over to the, right here, Gerald. I'm gonna have to like make a footnote of that, because for some reason I keep name. Let me look at the timing though for tomorrow, because the timing's kind of more of a key here. Hey, no problem, Dan. I appreciate you tuning in. Glad I'm keeping you safe. Live stream tomorrow, probably not. the timing is not really a timing that I can really manage, so probably not. If it's a bit more of an evening threat, if there's like still an evening threat tomorrow, then I'll go live, but I probably will not. Let's see. Hey, no problem, Horror. All right, no new updates on the warnings for right now. Again, we are still monitoring the potential for a tornadic threat over the next 2 hours. Again, definitely can't rely on an isolated tornado or two here over the next hour or two. But for right now, we're back down north of San Antonio, which we're still seeing some severe weather down here. Damaging winds definitely the main concern for right now. Check Twitter. We do have a new Storm Prediction Center mesoscale discussion. Let's go over that real quick. This is even further to the south. Let's go over to that. And it has not actually popped up on my map yet. So once that pops up, I'll get to it. I think that literally just got issued as I opened Twitter. So that will be out here in just a second. It's a bit further down to the south. So those in like Houston, for example, you'll have a little update here in a second. Locally, it's severe gusts are going to be the main potential watch is going to be possible. I'll show you that area here in just a moment once we have it. But oh yeah, I'm actually going to take a look at the power outage map here in a second. That's a good point. Kansas will not see anything besides rain. Let me go over to see if we have any. Let me go to the power outages and see if we have actually any updates there. I have not yet looked at that. So yeah, currently the power outages across Texas, they're at 62,000. Bell County has about 10% without power. Williamson County has about 8,500 without power. So that is probably where that possible tornado happened. Malam County, which is just east of there, 704 people without power. Falls County, 1,700 without power. And as well as La Paz County with about 350 people without power. Hays County also has about 5% people without power. So that's the latest update in terms of the power outages. So we've had some power outages, obviously, with this entire area of storms. Hey, Donovan, how you doing? College Station will see some severe weather tonight. It's definitely possible. Back that far to the east, it's definitely going to be possible. For some reason, the mesoscale discussion is not popping up on here. It may just take a few minutes to update on here. But the mesoscale discussion is going to include this area. So from about Houston back through areas like Victoria, as well as San Antonio, Lake Jackson, all those areas, the potential for severe weather will exist this far down to the south. The main notes to note with this area for tonight in the latest outlook will be the strongest storms will basically produce locally severe wind gusts. That's the biggest threat for tonight. Severe thunderstorm watch may be issued for this area. But yeah, it has not been actually posted on the Storm Prediction Center site yet either. So we're not going to have that for at least another minute or two. But that's the latest out of that. Again, new mesoscale discussion expected to be, or potential severe thunderstorm watch may be issued that far down to the south. That would include Houston. All right, we do have a new update on a severe thunderstorm warning back up here to the north. This one no longer includes Temple, and it's much smaller. This is now down to quarter-sized hail. It was originally up to ping pong ball-sized hail. So that is the latest there. Milam County. Thank you, David. All right, let me go back over to the velocities real quick. I want to take a little look to see. I'm not seeing anything too crazy in terms of the wind speeds right now. More than anything, we are seeing east of Interstate 35. We're definitely seeing more of a wind threat, a little wind pocket there south of Martindale. It does seem like we have more wind just out in front of this area too, along that outflow boundary, possibly up to 60, 65 miles per hour. So just a little note there, if you're near Lockhart, Luling as well, those areas will be in the track here over the next several minutes, of potentially some winds upwards of 65 miles per hour as that tracks out to the east. Let's see if that mesoscale discussion's on here yet. I'll keep this. Oh, there we go. So this is the mesoscale discussion, again, for the potential that we might get a severe thunderstorm watch in this region. Again, there's no... Let me take a look and see if we have anything on here. Let's go to this. So a 40% chance of a watch being issued, so basically 50-50. I don't really think there'll be a watch unless we really start to see some severe weather ramp up along this line as it moves a bit further down to the south. But main threat is going to be locally severe wind gusts and also the potential for a little bit of marginal hail, which basically means just change-sized hail typically with these storms. So that's the latest on the overall threat that far down to the south. So just a little update. Tornado watch does go until midnight tonight. Again, it will include areas from College Station back through Huntsville, Palestine, as well as Bryan, Brenham, all included. We do have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning that has actually just been issued and also has a tornado possible label, so we'll be watching this closely near Bryan in Wixon Valley. north of areas like Caldwell. So again, brand new severe thunderstorm warning here. Quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts are going to be possible there. Yeah, this does include College Station, by the way. So yeah, if you're in College Station, I just need to make sure. But yeah, College Station is included. That's the Texas A&M area, I believe. That's included in this new severe thunderstorm warning. Yeah, there's a tornado possible label on this. Let's look at the velocities. I don't know if they're going to show much this far out. And yeah, it's not showing a whole lot here. But this is an area that we do have a tornado possible label. So I have a little heads up there. That's going to, again, go towards Bryan, Wixon Valley. Highway 190, College Station, again included in that new severe thunderstorm warning. By the way, I'm just curious, does anybody watch the, is anybody into football at all? Like NFL football? Anybody watch the Monday Night Football game? I'm a Patriots fan, and they've been getting absolutely crushed tonight, which is so unfortunate. Just a side note from everything. Hey, have a great night, Deanna. Appreciate you tuning in. These storms will be in my area around 2 a.m. 2 a.m. That's late. Now, I remember living back in Texas, and there would be some of these overnight threats, and they are brutal. I mean, you'll wake up at like 2 or 3 in the morning just hearing a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning out there. You'll see flashes in the sky. That's the one of the more painful things. You know, especially living down here in the South, it's more known than anything, but yeah. Raiders, San Francisco 49ers, and Seahawks. Those teams are all, I would say, average right now. Seahawks are pretty good. Let's go back over to the velocities again. I'm going to take a look and see if we have any winds that I can estimate here. These are near the radar site. Trying to see if I can get any estimates here on the winds here. Seems like we have a couple of pockets of wind. For some reason, I cannot get the estimates. Let's go over to this and see if I can get an estimate. So yeah, it's estimated around 55 to 60 near 130. I have another little pocket here near about 60-ish as well, just east of the radar site. So we are seeing winds again around 60 miles per hour with the severe thunderstorm warning. This is a lot of the outflow-driven winds, though, with the outflow boundary that's moving off to the east that is currently located, again, near areas northeast of San Antonio. So latest there. They're falling apart. Yeah, I cannot. I had the game on, but yeah, no way I can watch it. Arrow, that area is going to be getting hit within the next 15 minutes or so. Seguin, if I'm saying the name right. That area is going to be having a main concern of damaging winds. So that's basically it. Maybe a little bit of potentially some change-sized hail, but I would probably say that's going to be on the low end at this point in terms of a threat. Back out a little bit, see if we have any new updates here. Again, Tornado Watch still goes until midnight tonight. I'll be watching the activity here for the next 20-ish minutes or so, and we'll see if anything really develops here. But for right now, it does seem like the main concern is going to be damaging winds here over the next hour or two. Definitely can't rule out a couple of tornadoes, though. Again, the big unfortunate part about this entire thing was the radar site went out very early into this coverage, so we don't have any really good idea of what's happening. We do have a little bit of rotation, though, back near Bryan, near College Station. This is something we're watching closely. That is something to watch as that moves towards areas, again, like Bryan, College Station, and Wixon Valley. So there is some rotation, but obviously, being this far out, it is hard to tell if that is rotation or a little bit weaker than that. But again, we'll be watching that area closely. Again, there is a ongoing tornado possible here for those in Bryan and Wixon Valley. That is associated with that storm just south of Highway 79. So looking at for right now. You think they'll extend what, the tornado watch, Republic? I don't think they'll extend the tornado watch. They may issue a new severe thunderstorm watch, possibly. For like areas like Houston, Beaumont, Woodville. Those areas might get extended into a severe thunderstorm watch maybe later tonight, like in the overnight hours. But I wouldn't probably say there'll be a new tornado watch, unless something dramatically changes. But I don't expect much of a tornado threat long term. I don't think that threat will exist too much beyond the next, really, probably 2 or 3 hours. So. Yeah, just a friendly reminder, if you're just tuning in for the first time, again, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below so you stay updated with the latest on the severe weather coverage. Also, make sure to hit the like button down below. I would appreciate it. So we are in Texas. Texas is the only area really for severe weather tonight. Overnight and tomorrow morning, Louisiana will begin to get hit really overnight tonight. And then tomorrow, all this moves off to the east towards the Dixie Valley, with all modes of severe weather still being possible then, including damaging winds and a potential for a couple of tornadoes back near Jackson, Birmingham, Huntsville, Memphis, all included in that potential. We do have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning to get to that is going to include a very large area. Get over to that. This is the latest. So this will go from about the areas near San Marcos back through about Lexington and Giddings and Round Top. That is for 60-mile-per-hour winds. So that is our latest update there. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning and damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour possible here. This is a lot of outflow boundaries and whatnot, so we're seeing a lot more of just wind threat along those outflow boundaries. And if we go back over to the velocities, get an idea here that the highest wind speeds are definitely pocketed in these little outflow boundary areas. So just north of Seguin, for example, south of Martindale, we're seeing really our highest winds there in those brighter reds. So that's where we're probably going to be seeing the highest winds as this continues to move out to the east towards areas like Lowling. Interstate 10 will eventually get hit by this. So if you're a truck driver along Interstate 10 in between about Marion back through about areas like Flatonia, those areas will probably have some damaging wind threat here over the next 15 to 20 minutes, even potentially a little bit sooner. Again, outflow boundary is currently located from San Antonio back through Lockhart. I'll kind of draw out here on the screen. So this is our outflow boundary right now that might be producing winds as high as 60 miles per hour. So, hey, Tara, how you doing? Welcome back. As well as Goku, how you doing? Welcome back. Here in Wisconsin, it's nice. Wisconsin was cold not too long ago. By the way, this is something that came up today, actually. There was apparently a confirmed tornado yesterday up in Nebraska. And there was 2 people that said there was a confirmed tornado, by the way. And at this point, most people at the Omaha National Weather Service office don't believe there was actually a tornado. I didn't really see any, there was no video evidence to begin with, or really any good video evidence. But the other thing was there wasn't really any radar evidence either, because there's probably side contamination with that storm. So just a little update there out of Omaha. I know there was a tornado warning yesterday. It said it was observed, but it does not seem like there was actually a tornado. So just a little heads up there for anybody that might have been watching the storms yesterday. I saw that Twitter post. We do have a new wind gust report coming out of San Marcos of 60 miles per hour at the intersection of West Center Point and Wander World Drive was where we just had a more recent report of a wind gust upwards of 60 miles per hour near Interstate 35. So that's our latest update there. And we also have a new severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued here near Hearne. That is going to be for damaging winds up to 60 and quarter-sized hail. That is a new warning that is kind of associated with a warning that will be expiring here pretty shortly. So it doesn't seem like we'll have a new warning further off to the north. So Bryan and College Station are the main areas included in that warning, though, the initial one that was issued with a tornado possible tag. So just a little update there. That's going to include a population of 7,500 for that new severe thunderstorm warning. Hey, Sarah, how you doing? Welcome back. Power's out on the north side of Temple. Thank you, Big Country, for the report. Stay safe out there. Hey, have a great night, Ro. Appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, there's been a good amount of power outages. I think we're up to about 70,000 now without power in Texas. Let me double check that. Yeah, we're about 70,000 without power in Texas. A lot of that is currently located back of where we saw that, not just the damaging wind threat, but also a possible tornado. So this is really the area that we've seen most power outages being reported, or at least yeah, being reported. So this is really the primary area. So back here, west of Georgetown, back through Austin, and back through just areas south of Waco near Temple. We've had a lot of damage reports. We've had a lot of hail reports. There was also a possible tornado as well along Interstate 35. We've had a lot of damage reports there of cars and ditches, and as well as 18-wheelers. There was an 18-wheeler flipped over and overturned along this highway, or Interstate 35 stretch north of Georgetown near Gerald. So that was our most recent reports on that. Again, I've not seen any new reports on that possible tornado at this point, but that seems like what we've probably seen out of that storm back up there to the north. So just a little heads up if you're back up in that area. Hey, Brian, how you doing? Welcome back from Kentucky. Melissa, main concern is going to be damaging winds over there in Lola. You might see, again, a brief tornado is not impossible over that direction either. We have a little bit of rotation on that storm, so we'll be watching that closely. Might have been a gustnado. Are you talking about that storm that was tornado warned? Had a possible tornado? I'd be surprised if it was a gustnado. Didn't seem like it was a gustnado, at least in my eyes. At least on radar. I mean, typically a gustnado happens out in front of a storm, so that was not really out in front of a storm. I know we actually had a gustnado in North Texas earlier, or late this past summer. I mean, it was not very long ago. We did actually have a confirmation of that. Looking to see here. Yeah, our highest velocities again on this entire area. Again, this is an outflow boundary that we're looking at here. And the highest wind gust that we're seeing is here near Highway 80. So going towards Lowling right now. So the brighter reds are representing higher wind speeds, possibly upwards of 60 miles per hour. That's moving off to the east towards Highway 183. So we're watching that obviously pretty closely. But it does seem like for right now, that is an area that we're watching for a potential for the highest winds with this line of storms. Also embedded in the strongest of the storms with a lot of the rain that we're seeing back up here near Lockhart, for example. That area is most likely not just seeing a lot of heavy rain, but possibly some frequent lightning, and also maybe some downburst winds along with that as well, maybe upwards of 60 miles per hour. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for Leon, Limestone, and Robertson County. That is actually back up here to the north. We'll have to hop back over to the DFW radar site for this one. This is near areas like Centerville. It'll be going towards Buffalo and as well as Oakwood, Texas, near Interstate 45. This is for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and as well as quarter-sized hail. That is, again, a brand new severe thunderstorm warning there. Moving off to the east. I do too, Arrow. I do too. Don't worry. A lot of us are in that same boat. All right, let's go over to the velocities real quick on this area of storms. I'm curious to see if we have anything too crazy. Again, this is pretty far away from the radar site. There is maybe a little bit of very broad rotation. If not, it's probably just winds at this point going towards Buffalo. And again, near Interstate 45. So expect if you're driving along Interstate 45 from about Tague back through Centerville, just make sure you're expecting at this point some pretty high wind gusts, maybe upwards of 60 to 65 miles per hour, as that basically cluster, a little area of storms right now moving off to the east does arrive to those locations. I know we have a lot of truck drivers that watch this, so just make sure you're staying safe there on the roadways as this continues to track out that direction. Just pull over if you want to stay safe. And again, it'll be arriving to Interstate 45 within the next 5 to 10 minutes. So back further to the south again, Bryan in College Station. I know a lot of people that are in this area in terms of Texas A&M and all that. Again, make sure that you are staying away from windows and obviously staying safe here. We do have an ongoing severe thunderstorm warning. There's also a tornado possible label with this right now. So the latest there. Kitty, yeah, Kitty, we did have a confirmation, or at least some reports, it's not confirmed, but we did have some reports of a possible tornado there near Gerald. So that was the latest that we've had from that area. I mean, we don't have any confirmation at this point. We've had a lot of damage reports out of there with trucks, you know, overturned and cars in ditches and stuff like that. So there may have been a tornado there, but again, we don't have any confirmation to this point quite yet on that. But we'll probably have some sort of confirmation tomorrow, whether there was a tornado, whether it was downburst winds, etc. So we'll have that probably here pretty soon. And also the new severe thunderstorm warning, by the way, for Buffalo, Texas, and as well as Dew, Texas, and Oakland, and Donnie, Flo, and as well as Centerville, all those areas. There's 17,000 people in that severe thunderstorm warning. That is back up here to the north near Interstate 45. So just a little update there. I mean, I'm just going off of some of the things that we have on Twitter, but yeah, looking at there. And this is an area that we're possibly going to see some damaging winds up to 60, maybe even a little bit of quarter-sized hail. Actually, I haven't looked at the hail radar at all in this stream. Let's go over to the hail radar. Oops, no. Let's go over to the hail radar. We'll take a look and see what we are looking at in terms of estimated hailstone sizes. We're actually not looking at really any estimated hail here. It's definitely possible we've seen some hail, though. The highest hail that we've had actually estimated by radar was near San Marcos, and this was upwards of potentially quarter size, and that's within the last hour. So this is basically just a little hail track here around San Marcos. So may have seen some upwards of quarter sized hail there. Otherwise, again, the hail potential is pretty low tonight. Again, we don't have lapse rates are pretty low today. I mean, if you look at the lapse rates, they are very low. So the overall hail threat is pretty much a pretty low spot. So I'm not very concerned about hail at all for the next couple of hours. It's more of just a damaging wind threat. So make sure you take those proper precautions tonight. Bring loose lawn items inside. If you have Halloween decorations up, I know some people blow up these big things. Make sure that you bring those or at least put them down, because those things are going to go flying if you don't have them strapped down well. And obviously winds up to 60 can really get those things going. So we don't want to see that. So make sure that you are doing the right thing and taking those proper precautions before these storms get to you. Again, you have a little bit of time. If you're in like Madisonville, for example, along Interstate 45 near Huntsville, you have some time to take those proper precautions. And even areas in Bryan and College Station, you have a few minutes here before that storm arrives to your location, but make sure you're doing all those sort of things safely, as there may be some lightning in the area as well. Just a little update out of the Metroplex back up in DFW. The line is officially moved out of the Metroplex. Only about 20 minutes earlier, I was mentioning that this line would be out of the 4-county Metroplex within an hour. It is well out of the Metroplex, with only the far eastern portions of Collin County still seeing some rain and maybe a little bit of lightning. So looks like for the most part tonight, here in the Metroplex, some passing showers. Not much beyond that, though. It should stay mostly cloudy otherwise in the Metroplex with a little bit of rain. So if you're up back that direction, you might see some passing showers. Back out here to the east, though, we still have that line ongoing. Definitely not as pronounced as down here to the south. We have a much more pronounced line of storms back down south of Athens and Palestine as well. Back through Terrell and Athens. This is an area that we still have some pretty strong storms, though. We'll have to watch and see. Maybe we have a little bit of damaging wind potential. Maybe a little bit of quarter-sized tail, too, in the long term. But for right now, nothing too crazy there. And we're going to go back down to the south for right now, back northeast of San Antonio. We're watching some storms down over this direction. Halloween decorations. Yeah, those Halloween decorations are going to go flying if they're not strapped down well. So yeah, if you have any friends, by the way, I know a lot of you guys probably have neighbors that have these Halloween decorations up. And if you're in any of these areas that might see storms in the next couple of hours, go give them a knock on the door. I know it's like 10 o'clock, but just go tell them, take those decorations down. Damaging winds coming. By the way, update on the power outage situation. We're up now to 71,000 without power, and that is just the latest update there. The highest county without power right now is Falls County. That is about 20% without power. Falls County, just to give you a perspective on where that is. That is over near. I'm trying to figure out where this is. I really don't know how to figure that out. There's a lot of counties, and they are really overlapping on here. This is the county that I'm looking at here. It is going to be, I believe, I don't even know. Let me look it up. I have a map here, and there's so many counties, it is so hard to figure this out. I do apologize. Very, very professional. Oh, that's south of Waco. Okay, so back up here near Marlin. So that's the area. So yeah, this area currently has about 20% without power. That's the latest update. So that's the highest without power. Back near Temple, we still have about 10% without power. So these two counties here have the highest power outages at this point. And that would include, again, areas like Marlin, Lott, Rosebud, Troy, Temple, Little River Academy. I know we've had some actually, a couple of people said in chat that we had some power outages near Troy. So that is definitely a confirmation at this point. So latest update out there. Dropped your phone. That's not good. The amount of times I've dropped my phone is actually incredible. I've dropped my phone so many times, but this case is like, my phone never cracks because it's such a good case. I think it's called an OtterBox. It's pretty good. Pittsburgh, there may be a severe thunderstorm watch for for Houston. It's going to depend on what evolves here over the next hour, but there might be a severe thunderstorm watch. With the current trend, I don't know if there will be this. It's more outflow driven now, but we'll see. I don't expect a tornado watch, though, by any means. I don't expect a tornado watch, but maybe a severe thunderstorm watch. But I would honestly go ahead and say there probably won't be a watch. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if this starts to intensify a little bit more, maybe this entire line. But I just don't see it intensifying too much beyond now. So, do I have a nice phone? I think this is like an iPhone SE, so it's pretty. I mean, if you consider an iPhone SE one of the older versions nice, then yeah, sure. I don't know how old it is, but it's at least a few years old. It's like one of the older versions of the SE. So. I remember when I had a flip phone in, only like 4 years ago. Might sound crazy to you, but I used to have a flip phone. It was like actually like, phones that didn't have all the apps and stuff, I was never let to have an iPhone up until like literally 2 years ago. Give an idea on that. I have an iPhone 5? I think iPhone 5 is a little bit before mine, I think. I might be wrong, though. Shane. Still rocking with the same phone that Columbus sailed with. Okay. No, iPhone 5 is fine. I mean, honestly, I use whatever you like. I like the phone I have. I don't need any of these fancy iPhone 17s or whatever they're up to nowadays. They're up to like iPhone, what are they up to? 18? 17? Somewhere in that range? It's up there. $14? Oh, is that what it is? Okay, 14. That's still high. It's actually crazy. Thank you, by the way, for everybody that subscribed tonight. I'm not going to be able to get to all the subscriber notifications, but I do appreciate all the support. We've really grown today. I mean, again, we've surpassed 25,000 subscribers, which is pretty incredible. I had a very busy start to the stream. It's been kind of winding down a little bit, which is good, but be live here for a little bit longer. See if there's any notable warnings that do get issued. Again, the biggest area that I'm still really monitoring or would monitor over the next few hours would really be anywhere along that boundary that we're talking about. This area has really the greatest potential for an isolated tornado threat over the next hour or two. Damaging winds also still up there across these areas, so we will be watching this area very closely. Again, Bryan, Madisonville, College Station, again, Wixon Valley, Iona, all those areas going to be in the track of these storms here over the next little while. So I would definitely be more concerned about this region more than anything here over the next little while for sure. Hey, no problem, Stanley. Appreciate you tuning in. No problem at all. Bryce, I do plan on doing winter storm and blizzard coverage. Yes, I do plan on it. How many of them will I do? When will I do them? I have absolutely no clue, but we'll see. I mean, my main priority is going to be severe weather always, but if there is like a blizzard or a winter storm or something like that, I'll probably end up going live for it, but we will see. Because, again, I'm not entirely sure quite yet. I've done one winter storm coverage already, like, literally, like, a week or two ago, but it was just more of a discussion thing, but, yeah, I might do a couple of them. We'll see. Depends on where they are, too. How's San Antonio? San Antonio's actually doing all right. You're pretty much just seeing some showers pass by, maybe a little downpour. The only storms are back up to your northeast, so... would be really the only area that I have any concerns with. Beyond that, though, that is the really... San Antonio seems to be getting dodged a little bit, but back up to the northeast, there's some storm activity. And again, this line of storms extends all the way back through Dallas. I mean, or just east of Dallas now. It is a pretty elongated line of storms. Again, there's a lot of breaks in the action in this line as well. It's not a full-on, very organized line, but this is really how far it extends. So it is a pretty large area, and it actually... Let's go nationwide real quick. This is pretty fascinating. If you watch my forecast today, you would understand that this is pretty crazy. This is how far north the rain extends, and it's almost all connected throughout, too. We got rain that extends this far. Now, not all of this is storm activity. Obviously, anything from about Wisconsin and the upper Michigan Peninsula all the way back through Texas. The only storm activity that we're seeing is in Texas. Maybe a little bit of thunder in Missouri, but nothing beyond that. But yeah, the only severe weather is back down here. This is all associated with the first trough that brought the severe weather yesterday, which I can't even show you on the screen. It's up here to the north. And then our other trough that's developing is back over here. So it's pretty incredible what we're seeing out of this. But this trough down here will eventually move up this direction. So it will go in that direction. Severe weather possible tomorrow. A little bit larger of an area than this, but that'll be the area. Main area will be Mississippi as well as Alabama. Then there will be a potential for some storm activity back up here. Mostly just rain, but maybe an isolated storm back up in the Ohio Valley on Wednesday. But I don't expect severe weather up this direction. So no severe weather is expected up there, but there will be some rain as that trough moves up there to the east and northeast. We'll be looking at a similar situation as well this upcoming weekend, where a trough will probably develop over here and move into Texas. We may see some more severe weather this weekend across Texas. So obviously we are in the second severe weather season, so it's not over yet. If you are anywhere in the Texas area, and this is only the beginning of our second severe weather season. We'll probably at least see 3 events or so more than just this across Texas in the next upcoming probably 30 to 45 days. So it's going to get more active. This is obviously just the first severe weather event that we're seeing across Texas during the second severe weather season. It is a little bit delayed in comparison to last year. We are currently now at the tail end of October. We typically see our first severe weather event happen a bit earlier, about a couple of weeks earlier. But due to how warm the summer was, the big thing was with how warm the summer was, we basically just had a delay in terms of the biggest dips in the jet stream and whatnot, bringing severe weather like this. So, and this severe weather came with actually the remnants of Rosie or whatever I can't remember the name of it, but that was back over in the Pacific Ocean. We actually had a Category 4 hurricane make landfall in Mexico. This is kind of associated with some of those remnants. So, yeah, it's quite interesting. All that's coming out of that. But then next week, we have another system to watch for that could also bring some severe weather next weekend across the southern plains. So we'll be watching that closely. Also, a friendly reminder, if you're just tuning in, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And also, just correction on that, the trough is going to come basically out of the areas like Colorado and Wyoming. So a little bit further to the north, but correction. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, though. We're only currently 5 subscribers from 25,200. Appreciate it. Hey, Rainbow, how you doing? Welcome back. Thanks, Rainbow. Yeah, I got a haircut. It's actually kind of weird. I didn't mean to leave this much hair on the top, but yeah, my haircut is definitely weird. It's a little bit. I like how short it is on the sides, but my hair on the top is a little bit too much. Hey, Agent, how you doing? By the way, if you're enjoying the stream and you want to support my page above and beyond, honestly, any single dime goes a long way. If you want to become a member, though, you can for as little as $3 a month. It goes a long way on my page. You get a lot of benefits, including exclusive forecasts, bloopers access, a chat badge, and much more. You can click the top link in the description if you're interested. I typically don't promote that, but if you want to support my page, I would really appreciate it. Otherwise, just by you watching and being subscribed, it really goes a long way as well. All right, let's go back up here to the north. Let's go back to Interstate 45. We'll run back through some of these storms real quick. We'll see if there's any new updates as well in the velocities with any of the storms, see if there's any rotation. But back up here near areas like Buffalo and Oakwood, we do have an ongoing severe thunderstorm. We do have damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and also a little bit of quarter-sized hail possible with this storm. It is tracking out to the northeast. Let's go back over to, actually, let's do a different color here. Let's do this. This is moving off to the east and as well as the east-northeast, so definitely something to watch for very closely, though. Again, damaging winds up to 60, maybe a little bit of quarter-sized hail. Main locations are Oakwood and Buffalo. Further down to the south near Bryan and College Station, this is a storm that we're watching for damaging winds, large hail, and then also there has been some broad rotation with this, so that's also another concern. Hail threat right now is definitely more prominent here near Bryan, so there might be a little bit of car window damage if there's any quarter-sized hail, so we'll be watching that closely as that moves off to the east. Further down to the south, we do have a long severe thunderstorm warning. Goes from about areas near, I believe it's Lexington. Yeah, just south of Lexington, all the way back through areas just northeast of San Antonio. This is for damaging winds up to 60, maybe a little bit of change-sized hail as well. So those are the main concerns for right now. And that's what we're looking at right now. Let's actually go back up to the Bryan storm. I want to see if there's any rotation on this from a long distance. We'll go back to the DFW radar site. We will see. And yeah, not a whole lot here. There's been a little bit of rotation with this, but nothing too defined with this cell that would give me an idea that we'll probably have like some sort of actually, strong rotation. But there's a little bit of broad rotation for sure with this. Going from the Houston radar, and yeah, similar situation. Maybe a little bit of broad rotation, but I wouldn't say much more beyond that right now. Again, Wixon Valley, Bryan, and College Station will be impacted here within the next several minutes. Hey, Skylark, how you doing? Welcome back. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Appreciate it. How's your day going? I learned to talk so fast. Honestly, I typically do not actually talk this fast, and it's more because of how much stuff we've had ongoing tonight. I've talked much faster than I typically do. Really from the beginning, we had that potential tornado on the ground. That's why I began talking pretty fast. But Yeah, I've been improving, I feel like, in the videos and stuff like that. I feel like I'm talking a bit slower than I used to, which I'm trying to do, but with, you know, severe weather and stuff, you gotta, you know, get a lot of information out there very quickly, especially across a large area. Therefore, you know, I can talk a lot faster. I can talk really fast. I mean, if you want me to, I can talk this fast, but I'm not. I try not to. I saw that, Best. Yeah, I've had a few photos come out. There have been a few photos of damage along Interstate 35 from a possible tornado near Jarrell. So, thank you for subscribing. Longview, Texas. You'll see storms within the next 45-ish minutes, maybe slightly sooner as well, or actually a little bit longer. The line is actually slowed down a little bit further off to the north. Let me put a time track on here. At about 40 miles per hour or so. Longview is currently forecasted to be somewhere near just before midnight. Actually, that is accurate. So yeah, right around midnight is going to be when you'll probably see storms near Longview. Maybe just slightly before that, but it seems like mostly rain at this point. Isolated damaging winds possible, though. Actually, yeah, good idea, Bryce. Yeah, if you're not already, make sure to join the Discord server. I'll put the link in the chat. If you want to join our community off the stream, make sure you join our Discord server. Bring that up. Is Waco clear for the rest of the night? Yes, Waco is clear. You are good to go. Yeah, Waco's well behind the storms. You may see a very light passing shower, but there won't be much beyond that. It'll be a pretty nice night beyond what you've already seen, obviously. Be clearing out. Seem much calmer? I try to stay calm. I mean, we had a tornado warning earlier, which was obviously a bit more of a situation they had to go a bit more aggressive on, but I don't know really how you put it, but yeah. There's a tornado warning, it's obviously a lot more intense, I would say. So we had a tornado warning, obviously, earlier. I'm not sure if I can go that far back and show you guys. Actually, I can. So this is when we had a tornado warning. I don't think the radar will load here, but this is when we had a couple of tornado warnings. This is when we had a confirmed tornado. This is from earlier. But this is back near Jarrell, and this is where we had damage reports. You know, we had reports of damage at least. And with the reports that we saw, it does seem like we did have at least some sort of confirmation that there was probably a tornado here. Otherwise, it was just very strong downburst winds. So, and you can see the radar slowly going back. That's actually kind of funny. But yeah, that was from earlier. And it does seem like we did have a tornado, though, there. But we will probably we'll have an update on that tomorrow. So if I do have any updates on that, I'll retweet or I'll post it on Twitter. So if you want to check that out, I'll put the Twitter link in chat. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. You'll get the latest updates on there. In terms of if there were to be a tornado, or if there was one, I'll kind of post it on there. I wouldn't doubt there was probably a tornado. It was very strong rotation at the time. No problem having. I interact a lot. I try to when I can. The only problem is when I, during streams like Hurricane Ian and like a tornado warning, for example, it is very difficult to interact with chat, but it's a little bit easier when we have a little bit of downtime, so there isn't anything too crazy. It's pretty self-explanatory right now. New update, by the way, on the severe thunderstorm warning in Bryan. Nothing really notable here. It is still quarter-sized hail. It's still 60-mile-per-hour winds. This also includes College Station. This warning goes for another 9 minutes. We probably will get a new warning at some point just out in front of this. Probably will still include College Station since they have not been hit yet. But tornado possible still on this, so there's still a little bit of rotation here. Illinois is getting rain all day tomorrow. Yeah, there'll be some rain. Again, that trough back up to the north is bringing a decent amount of rain up that direction. So. Hey, Dennis, how you doing? This is from Texas. Or this is in Texas. This is like, this is near College Station, so Texas A&M area, but pretty much northwest of Houston right now is where we're at. This stream kind of brings back memories, though. This is one of the this is actually the first area that I ever covered outside of North Texas weather, because back in early May, I was only doing North Texas weather, and soon after that, this all, changed into nationwide weather pretty much only a few weeks later. So this is the first ever area I covered outside of North Texas. So for those that might have remembered, back through San Antonio, we had some severe weather. We're actually beginning to see some storms really fire up now south of San Antonio. Something to watch for here. Got some storms firing up now south of San Antonio. Definitely some strong storms. These are firing up very quickly, though. This is only within the last 2 scans. We're definitely seeing these quickly fire up right now. West of Interstate 37, going towards Pleasanton. So watch that closely. That's our latest update there. Have a new damage report coming out of Groesbeck. That is in Limestone County. Tree down across a house. Power line down on North Archer Street. So again, new damage report coming out of there in Limestone County. Tree is down on a home. That is the latest out of that area. That is, again, that was a severe thunderstorm warning that had 60-mile-per-hour winds associated with it. So, by the way, new mesoscale discussion has just come out. I do apologize. We have a new mesoscale discussion. That is for East Texas and West Louisiana. So that'll be our next area in line for storms tonight. I'll go ahead and outline it here. This is basically the new mesoscale discussion. I think it's slightly further south there, but let me shift like that. There we go. So yeah, this is the area. This will be for the potential. Storms will obviously start to go into this region in the next couple of hours. The main concern, damaging winds. There may be a brief tornado threat as well. So mentioning before, there might be a severe thunderstorm watch out this direction, and there also might be one down here as well. These are the 2 areas where we may get some severe thunderstorm watches issued. For mainly damaging winds, but possibly a tornado threat as well within the next couple of hours. So that is an area to watch. We also have a new report, by the way, coming out of Bryan, Texas. This is an area that we have a severe thunderstorm warning ongoing near College Station. Brand new report of a 70-mile-per-hour wind gust. And not just that, power outages are also ongoing there. There's also been hail reports upwards of about penny-sized. So latest update there. Again, we are now getting a report of 70-mile-per-hour winds out of this area. Definitely a big alert there for sure. Ethan, the next area in line for this area of severe weather will be going into the Dixie Valley tomorrow, and then further beyond that, this trough will go closer to Ohio, but the Ohio Valley will not see severe weather out of this. That will be on Wednesday. So basically, today and tomorrow are our only days for severe weather with this area of storms. So that's what you can expect. Stay on the Bryan storm. Again, we just had a report of 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts with this. I know a lot of people that are in College Station, going to college at Texas A&M and whatnot. So just a little heads up. Again, that is our latest. We have a report of 70-mile-per-hour winds out of there. If you're in southern Arkansas, you have a potential for severe weather. Really overnight tonight, actually, it includes almost all of Arkansas, but basically going into late tonight, there's a possibility for isolated severe weather. Tomorrow, it's going to be primarily in eastern Arkansas, but it's a very low chance overall. It's basically just marginal both days, so you won't see too much out of that. Real quick, I haven't really shown this yet. Let's go over to the one live cam I have. I don't know if it's actually up on here. Oh, wait, I'm on the wrong screen. My bad. This is the live cam that we have. And it is, there we go. That's the one live cam we have. That's out of Lantana, Texas. One of my North Texas Weather Center viewers gave me this, and it actually is a pretty nice little sight to see. The light pollution in DFW is kind of letting you see the clouds up there, by the way. And this is live, by the way. So, looks like a little plane, by the way, on like the, back near the house, that little bright light. That is out of Lantana, Texas. And the clouds are obviously moving above. East. Nice little sight to see there in Lantana, Texas. Again, that's back up to the north over in the Metroplex. So they're starting to clear out. Severe weather's clearing out of that area. So looking nice, though, in that area. Looking nice. Had that live cam for tonight just in case, but we haven't had much of anything beyond what we saw earlier, which was, there was some storm activity earlier, but it wasn't anything severe, and it was past by the time I went live. Nice little view, though. Ethan, there's a couple of big, I mean, there might be a small airport nearby, but I mean, you got DFW Airport, you got the Love Field Airport. There's a couple of big ones. So it might have been to one of those. Lantana, Texas, I think is close to Love Field. It's like where I think Southwest Airlines goes out of. So gone out of that airport before. I'm pretty sure I have. Yeah, I have. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the closest one to it. Yeah, I would probably expect another severe weather day Friday or Saturday in Texas country. I'd expect another one. Whether that's a marginal threat or upwards of an enhanced risk, it's to be determined. It's kind of far out, so we'll have to wait and see what happens here over the next few days. Hey, thanks, Gene, for the report. So yeah, the latest report out of College Station, it seems like our winds are upwards of 60 to 65. We did have a report of 70-mile-per-hour winds out of there, so... they might Kristen, but again, live cams are kind of one of those like weird things where, you know, you need permission to have most of them. The only ones you really can show are the ones that are like traffic cams and stuff. But I don't have any of those set up tonight. I was kind of running low on time. Kind of interesting. We actually, I don't know if anybody's is anybody in the Texas Panhandle in this chat? There might have actually been a few flurries out there west of Amarillo tonight. Not entirely sure. I don't know if we've had any reports of that, but there might have been a few flurries there. Yeah, our most recent report was 70-mile-per-hour winds here near College Station. We should be getting a new severe thunderstorm warning here momentarily. There's a couple of warnings that are about to expire. We'll see if we get any new warnings on these. Probably will, so we'll see. We're seeing a lot of minor damage, by the way, out of Jarrell. So it looks like street signs, a trampoline was blown away, some wind damage associated with a tornado warning cell from earlier. Again, we don't have any confirmation of a tornado yet, but that's the latest out of there. We do have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning that's now been issued for Madisonville. This also includes areas back currently west of Interstate 45, Wixon Valley, College Station, and Bryan. The main locations included. Damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. Quarter-sized hail is going to be possible with this storm as it continues to track out to the east. And the other storm back up here to the north, no new severe thunderstorm warning for now. That is the latest there. So I'll be tracking off to the east. The storm's worse now, even though we're coming out of hurricane season. Well, hurricane season's not done yet, and severe weather typically picks up in October or November. Our second severe weather season, quote unquote, begins around this time, typically a little bit earlier than this. But yeah, we're in our second severe weather season, which is not as bad as like months like March, April, May, and June, but it's still notable. So we do see severe weather during this time, but yeah. By the way, if you have any roof damage, I know a lot of you guys in chat probably getting hit by these storms tonight. If you have any roof damage, I just want to give you a quick recommendation. Platinum Contracting, the person below my face cam, give them a call if you have any roof damage or you want them to give you a free inspection. They are great to do that. Veteran-owned company, so just make sure to give them a little call and make sure to tell them that Max Velocity sent you. They're a great company, veteran-owned. In Texas, by the way. I know that's a bit more of a local company here, so... College Station right now just seeing potentially some damaging winds, but that threat will be winding down over the next 30 minutes. Again, it's right now peaking probably right now in terms of winds upwards of 60 miles per hour. We did have a report of 70, but I don't think we have any... I had a report of that, but it's obviously not a confirmed report. So it's the latest there. Devin, actually, they spotted... Platinum Contracting actually came to me before I went nationwide on YouTube, so they've been a sponsor for a while. But honestly, roofing companies for me, like I want to make sure, like whenever I sponsor a company, I want to actually make sure I believe in what they do and if they're actually a good company. And Platinum Contracting definitely is. I mean, they're one of the better roofing companies I'd say in North Texas. Veteran owned too. I mean, they're great. So. Not right now, Ethan. Actually, funny enough, it's not funny, but it's interesting that we actually have a couple of areas to watch here in the tropics, not really being mentioned by really anybody. It's been very well minimalized at this point, but we do actually have a couple of areas east of the East Coast, which is quite interesting. So we have one near Bermuda right now. It's an invest. It might develop. It's not going to develop into much, though. It might become a little tropical depression or a weak tropical storm. It's likely not to impact the United States much. We also have another area here for a 30% chance of developing. So there's actually some developments out there, but I don't expect either of them to really impact the United States much. But it is interesting because this is obviously something that we haven't really seen much of recently, is the tropics and whatnot. So a couple of updates there, though. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but interesting to say the least. That's right off the East Coast, but neither of them are really forecasted to go towards the United States. By the way, we're up to now 80,000 people without power now in Texas. That number has gone up dramatically, so we're now up to 80,000 people. Hey, no problem having. Appreciate you tuning in. Have a great night. Jazz, just rain mostly. Nothing really beyond that. Palestine currently, I believe the line of storm is about to approach you. It's mainly just gonna be gusty winds. There is a special weather statement there. Beyond that, I'm not expecting much in terms of severe weather there, other than maybe a wind threat. So the latest there. But again, the worst storm I would say right now is the one here near Bryan in College Station. Again, that's going to be probably the strongest storm. It's right along that boundary, so. Looking at for right now. All right, let's go back over to here real quick. Just a further reminder, by the way, if you're tuning in for the first time, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, like the video, turn on the bell, or click the bell icon so you get notified whenever I go live or have a forecast. Again, we'll keep you updated with the latest on the severe weather. Again, I don't think I'll be live tomorrow, nor do I think I'll have a video tomorrow, but if I'm able to, I'll go live. But that's going to be the Dixie Valley, so we'll be seeing what happens there. But again, all modes of severe weather possible across areas like Mississippi and Alabama tomorrow, so that'll be another area to watch. But again, I'm not entirely sure I'll be live, but we'll see. Thanks, CY. Appreciate it. I'm glad, Ethan. I'm glad. Between Madisonville and College Station, I'm not sure if it really, I don't know if Lola's, I think, a small town, so I don't think it pops up on here. But this is a look right here. The hail core, if there's any hail, which we've had nickel-sized hail reported, is here. It's just currently east of Bryan. It's actually a little bit larger now. That's moving towards Highway 90, so. But again, Madisonville, between there and College Station, I don't know if it's over here or over here, but that is, again, looks like the worst of the storms will be here, going towards Highway 30 and Highway 90, going probably towards Huntsville. So, yeah, if you're in that area, that's kind of just a little heads up. How's it going, Yoshi? Thanks, Rainbow. Appreciate it. How you doing, Zero? Welcome back. I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? I haven't seen anybody in a while. I haven't really done live streams recently. There's not much been. I think I went live last week, but again, there hasn't been a whole lot to go live for. This is really the first event that we had in a while that is live streamable, in my opinion. We had a couple of other little severe weather events as well a week ago or so. Man, I've literally, last week was such a busy week. Last 2 weeks have been really busy. This week is a little bit less busy for me in terms of just like, you know, schoolwork and whatnot. I had a lot of midterms last 2 weeks, so I'm finally able to kind of go live a bit longer, a little bit more, which is good. We have a new damage report, by the way, coming out of Lockhart. Emergency management reports downed trees and power lines down in downtown Lockett. So again, brand new report. That is out of this line of storms. So some power lines down, along with downed trees. And new report there northeast of San Antonio, which we are seeing some storms down that direction. Minnesota is not seeing any severe weather tonight, just rain. Houston will mainly be a damaging wind threat. I don't expect much beyond that. So, mainly a damaging wind threat. By the way, for those that are wondering about radar apps, I recommend Radar Scope or My Radar. Those are my two to-go ones for radars. Spring, Texas tonight will mainly be a damaging wind threat. I don't expect a tornado watch. There's a possibility for a brief tornado, but it's a very low chance down that direction. Yes, we get every stream has these bots. I don't know why it's such an issue, but yeah, they, for whatever reason, they come about 2 hours late. I mean, it's such a weird thing. I've done a lot of 1 hour live streams. I mean, more recently, and it never is an issue, but longer live streams for some reason it is. From Jonathan. No problem, Annabelle. Sometimes get them in, it's annoying. Yeah, it is pretty annoying. It goes for every channel. It's not just one channel, it's a lot of people. Alrighty. Yeah, there was possibly a tornado. It's not confirmed, Kitty. Gerald, Texas, though, possibly did have a tornado. Again, it's not confirmed, though. So we'll have more information, though, as probably by tomorrow they'll be able to survey the area and see if there was actually a tornado or not. We've seen a lot of minor damage beyond just the trucks and cars being in the ditch and flipping over and whatnot. A lot of minor damage just outside of that. But again, there was at least, it looks like, at least strong downburst winds. There may have been a tornado, but that's yet to be determined. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I would go ahead and say that there was probably a tornado, but it very well may have been downburst winds as well. Winds on radar were estimated near 90 at the beginning. So, but otherwise, that's going to do it for the stream tonight. Again, we'll be watching this closely. I don't plan on going live again if there's a tornado warning, but I don't expect too much beyond this. Mainly just damaging winds, isolated tornado threat for the rest of this evening into the overnight hours. But I do appreciate everybody tuning in. Before you leave, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, and I would appreciate it. Also, make sure to like the live stream if you did enjoy the stream and the coverage. I would really appreciate it. Again, just make sure you subscribe before you leave. Turn on post notifications. I might go live tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. If you enjoyed the stream and you want to come and support the page more and above and beyond, you can become a member for as little as $3 a month. Get a lot of benefits, including a chat badge, exclusive forecasts, and much more. You can click the top link in the description or click the join button if you are on desktop. Thank you, by the way, Callie, for the $5 super chat. I appreciate the report, by the way. Yeah, there's a lot of lightning down there. I appreciate your support. And also, to anybody else that is super chat tonight, I really do appreciate it. But I do appreciate everybody tuning in. Have a great, safe rest of your night, and we will see you guys all again soon. Yes, there might have been a tornado in Gerald. We don't have any confirmation yet on that, but there probably was. Otherwise, it might have been downburst winds. We'll have more on that tomorrow. Again, make sure you follow me on Twitter for the latest on that. Join my Discord server, by the way, before you leave, and